Alright, I'm here. Well, we got a little pump on AMD. Y'all wish that was SPY. Alright, let's go to SPY now. Leave it up so you can see 475 as well as the pretty important level here at 468.30s. But guys, you are testing previous day low demand. I'm going to post that in chat right now. Crucial support being tested at open, previous day lows. And good morning to everybody. Good morning, Ace, Mel, Traveler, Justin DeMoney, King Carnage, Keith, Garden Trader, Mel, SF, Aloha, Daffy, Dan, John, Kim. He said, hit the like, guys. What's up, Chris? What's up, Shadow? What's up, David Q? What's up, Alexis, Sandollar, Jacko, Purple Mango, D-Touch. Good morning, Caleb. And good morning, Green Candlestick. Good morning to each and every one of you. Glad to see you guys again. So even though I didn't stream yesterday, I hope you guys traded safe, because yesterday it was actually kind of clean. Even though you could say yesterday range traded for the most part and then had one really nice move end of day, it did create a high and lower high under this level. So there's no reason to continue being bullish until we saw something else. And then when they did come down to give us that potentially something else, they broke that day's open. Sorry, I'm speaking in terms of yesterday. They broke that day's open, giving you bearish confirmation. Rejected. Made a new low even, right? And then built a hammer and validated over. So they finally pushed back over, right? And then they do what? Make another lower high. They could not get over the area of 473.50s again. And then dumped. And then finally, what they couldn't do this time, and what they couldn't do this time, is they finally made a new low and then actually followed through with it to whatever the next level was. In this case, it was actually the previous day high, the previous day close. Sorry, I'm trying to level these up a little bit more. And then you had 469.70. So this shouldn't have been your target. This should have been your target if you were someone looking for these lower highs, the rejection, the new low, all that good stuff. This was the area to look for, not here. But if you did either or, good for you. But you could see, though, now today, we are again testing that low. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, though. You need to be really good at, like, storytelling. You need to be really good at being able to break down, all right, from open of the previous day to now, to now, what have we done? And then it'll make a little bit more sense to you. You give yourself a little bit more context. That's really is what you're doing. You're giving yourself price action context. I guess that's what I should be saying. That's storytelling. But does that make sense to everybody? Getting context on the chart before taking any trades, or just having better understanding. It's not even about taking trades. What's up, Nicole? How you doing? Good morning, each and every one of you. Definitely be sure to drop a like on the stream. It helps out the channel a ton. But let's chill. Be sure to drop some updates if you're watching anything that we're not looking at. I try to switch through SPY the most, of course, because I'm a huge SPY fanatic. But we do like looking at the triple Qs. We like looking at SPX. I like to go through all the weights. I like to go through the sectors that have weights within them. So we go through it all, really. But here we have triple Qs. This is your tech sector. Not your pure blood, but is your tech sector. This is your pure blood tech sector. This is what you'd want to be watching. And we were talking about how this had already broken all-time highs. It just needed to continue holding or show more buying pressure here, and they finally have. So that's all-time highs for Pure Blood's tech sector, which means, and you guys have already seen at Microsoft, they're trading just under their all-time high. You have Apple making a new all-time high, just under it again. And then Nvidia still just under their all-time high. So you have three of the top tech weights sitting pretty much at all-time high. SPY is losing support, guys. That is not a good sign. Some of the steam is out of the bulls. Good morning, Rajat. Glad to see you. But I saw SPY and triple Q contracts. Yeah. I don't know what that was. Somebody, as a joke, somebody joined in our chat last night. And then this morning started, like, complaining a bunch about random stuff. Like, we've never met this person before. And then... and then he, and yeah, then he complained, and then I just, like, read his messages. I was like, dude, you're blind. There's losing, and then there's like losing with no awareness. And that's what that was. That was like a deer in headlights. It's like, all right, man, you just need to not be in here. But that was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know, I have no idea who that was, where he's from, but I thought it was funny. He's like, man, options are shit. Then he started talking about how he trades futures. It's like, dude, no shit, you just jumped into futures trading. Like, you jumped into probably the harder thing to trade out of the two. I hate when people are like, oh, futures are so easy, bro. I love watching people make big. It's like, yeah, but you're also going to lose a lot too. You know, all those people that post their big gains, they also post just as big, if not 2 times as big losses, and don't post those publicly. So, you know, options are not shit. It's really just, do you know what you're talking about or not? Do you understand what you're looking for, and do you have a plan? It's not. You don't even really have to know what you're talking about. Let me bring that one back. You just need to have understanding of a system, of any kind of system, and then you could trade anything: options, futures, commodities. That's what makes a trader. Having a system in place, doing the same thing over and over again, or at least aiming to do the same thing over and over again, the same variation at least, you know? So if you get like a 40% entry, are you going to enter your full account? Probably not. It's a 40% entry. It's literally why it's called that. You know, and the same thing for the 80% entry, or let's say you get like an open range breakout after holding something, you know, then that's a little bit more than just 50-50 or 40-60. Like, that's a lot more probability sitting in your favor of this trying to continue, as long as it continues to show you whatever, you know, visualization there. You know, if you have bulls, then of course I'm going to want to see hammers at support. I'm going to want to see breakouts over that day's open. I want to see holds of levels, you know, good stuff like that, and vice versa if I'm going short. I want to see it. I don't want to just see it. I want it to push me into the trade. And if it isn't, then I'm not touching it. I posted SPY, said still under crucial support, but nothing crazy by short-term bears yet either. I mean, I'm not lying. First 5 minutes, all we did was make a new low. You're telling me the next 5-minute candle we're getting a bullish hammer? So, there's nothing here. I need to see a break over 470s. I need to see this give me a better rejection here, or some sort of just, again, like I said, a visual representation of a bear popping up. I need to see visual sellers pop up. Not just me feeling like it's going to come down. Microsoft waking up for the week finally. BB system reigns supreme. He must have had a bad system and strategy. He probably had no system or strategy. That's the worst part. That's the worst part. Like, I can't even sit here and be like, bro probably had a bad strat. Like, no, I don't even think he had one. I think he was just throwing shit at the screen. Oh, big green candle. Buy calls, buy calls, buy calls. Hope that it continues fast. Hope that it continues fast. And then it's like the same thing for like bears. Like, oh, big red candle, big red candle. Get puts, get puts. I hope it goes. I hope it keeps falling. Hope it keeps falling. You need to keep going. Please keep going. And then it doesn't. That right there is not trading, and that's what most people call trading. They'll be like, "Oh, that's my strategy, bro." Is it? Good morning, peoples. Glad to see you, man. How did everyone do yesterday? I took the day off while waiting for a funded account to be activated. Nice, Maddie. Hold of PML Tasty, Tesla 260, see you there. That's what React just said. Which I do believe Tesla is still holding insanely good levels on the bigger time frame. Let me see. Yeah. The thing they need to get over is this gray area, and they're into it. So this is the highest close they've had in a while. It's a lot of consolidation there. A reason a lot of people are ignoring Tesla right now is because of this, because it has consolidation. This is the exact reason you should not ignore it. This has a lot of consolidation. So you're telling me from November 14th all the way to just a couple days ago, so almost a month, literally a month, that's about a month actually, 14th to the 13th, it traded between 252 227, and let's look at the meat of everything. It really traded between 231.60s and 249. That's really not that big of a range for Tesla. You're telling me it traded for a month inside of an $18-20ish range? That's a lot of built-up energy, volume, whatever the hell you want to call it, however you need to see it. But that's a lot of built-up energy for a potential huge move. Now, does that mean it has to go up and fly? No, I mean, this could be a fake-out move, too, for all we know. If this day doesn't ever break a new high, then you have the perfect inside candle. If we get a breakdown of that candle, well, there's a big chance we're coming down to this level. So, still look out for that potential scenario, because it says, again, supply. This is supply equals a seller area until proven otherwise. We do not have that proven otherwise scenario here yet. We just have a potential buyer getting into this chart. But we do not have anything saying, yes, this is definitely going to continue. But I would like to add there's a nice bullish engulfing with a nice wick under. So there's a little bit of power coming from the bottom of this range before it moved up here. So even if it does hold as an inside candle or it doesn't pop a new high today, it still does have that potential of, again, reaching 264, 265, maybe even 270s for all we know. So I'll have to, again, come back to that, pay attention. But I love the Tesla chart on both bigger and smaller time frame. Saw React bringing that up. Which you can see my smaller time frame's not updated at all, but well, I'll fix that later. Holy Google, what are you doing? Google is flying for anybody watching Google. Meta is moving very nice for anybody watching the XLC sector. Fuck off. Netflix is doing all right. And even though we do have a retake of today's open, you are still a little cautious because of us not being over the 469.73 level, which is a bigger time frame level. So still a little cautious, but buyers have showed up a little bit more. Alright, so I was typing just now. I said SPY buyer showed up more, but did not retake the bigger time frame level yet. This is bearish retest still until we see a pop over 470s. You all heard that correct. This is a short-term bearish retest until we see a pop over 470s. You have no confirmation of buyers being here yet until proven otherwise. We need to see a buyer over 470 first. Sellers are in control still. Even with the push over today's open. Order of operations, everybody. Lost today's open, but mean, we retook it, but we're still in an area where it was demand. We literally made a new low twice. So yeah, bears are here until we see a buyer take 470. I say 470 because the bigger time frame level is 469.73, so you really should be saying 469.75, but I'm going to say 470 flat because it gives us an easy to remember number. Good morning, Adnan. Good to see you. It's so ready to go. But how many of you guys have been enjoying the game plans every day? For the past 2-3 weeks now, I've been posting. So, like, before, I'm trying to make this sound, like, professional, because I'm not trying to sound like I give, like, really bad info or anything. But at the beginning, it was just straight up, like, this is in, this is stop loss, this is that, this is this. Like, it was straight up super vague. Now I'm giving a lot more of an in-depth plan on the bigger and smaller time frames. And if you guys have been paying attention in Reason Over Risk every day, that's where the plays have been happening. That's where a lot of the good TAs have been posted. So I hope you've been paying attention, and I hope you've been enjoying it. But I wanted to see who's all been taking advantage. It's not about, again, taking plays or taking trades. It's not about that. It's about learning. It's about understanding, okay, this is how I should be reading the levels. This is how I should be reading this. This is how I should react to this, you know. So how many of you guys have been paying attention and hopefully growing with the system or growing with the strategy? Because it's not about being right or wrong. It's not about making or losing money, even though that is the outcome, of course. But again, we need to be focused on understanding things. It's like, do I understand what a 40% entry is? Do I understand what a retest is? Do I understand the order of operations? If you don't, then we need to go over that. Yeah, pretty good stream so far. I know it's only been 20 or 18 minutes, but it's a really nice new low onto the previous day lows. It's a really nice retest. So there's some movement that could be given here in a couple minutes. I know they're kind of making it hard for everyone to watch, but let's go to that new chart. We'll look at all time frames. So we got the 1 minute and the 5 minute covering the same exact levels and zones. We have the, about to be the 15 minute. Oops, not the 12. 15. There you go. So we got the 15 minute indecisive candle at open, by the way, and the daily time frame. We're going to unlink this one because we're not going to move it again. This is the all-time high, by the way. If you start to see a yellow level on my triple Q or SPX chart as well, those are also all-time high levels. You can see bears are still reacting and in control here on the 1 minute, even though they're trying to hold this as a potential higher low. We'll see. Got to give this a little bit more time. 5 minute, of course, still indecisive. We'll do that. Zoom it in. We'll screenshot it. Spy 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute daily. Did y'all see in Discord chat? Daffy changed his profile pic to the Oxy logo. That's pretty good. Good morning, Chuck. Always glad to see you. I feel that this has been the first week in months. I feel stuff has really been clicking. Hey, Chris, sometimes it takes that amount of time, though. That's what I try to tell everybody. Like, it's not like something that's going to, like, hit you. And let me tell you this. Let me give you another kind of, like, ahead of schedule update. You're going to have that happen again. You're going to have it happen multiple times. You're going to have these moments where you feel like you're lost again. This is what we are trying to get rid of. We are trying to build structure and stability. Again, by doing the same thing over and over and over again, by looking at things the same way over and over again, you are stuck in doing the same thing. And by doing that, this gives you a little bit of chance of potentially not just succeeding more, but seeing where you personally need to adjust. It's not about doing better or doing worse. It's about seeing where you need to adjust or where you might not need to adjust. Where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses, and then again, build into your edge. If you know for some reason you just cannot trade 40% entries, stay away from them. And I'm not just talking to Chris, guys. I'm talking to everybody when I do this. Because everyone still jumps the gun and they're like, what am I doing? And then they'll review it and they'll review it perfectly. It's like, well, that's your problem. You're literally just not waiting long enough. If you have this problem of like over analyzing, you're just not patient. You need to wait. You need to wait longer. You need to breathe. Take your hands off the mouse. Take your hands off your phone. Whatever you need to do. And just watch. Take some mental reps. Get over yourself. I want to know, but wait, what? But don't want to know my 600. Well, Jack, let's be honest here. You wouldn't have held the 653. So, is it really fair to look back and be like, yeah, I would have definitely made that amount of money? No. So let's be realistic here. That's what kind of stops me. That's what I tell myself. I'm like, would I realistically done that? Fuck no. So I'm not going to also sit here and be like, oh, I would have definitely made money on this. I need to go see how much is that contract up so I can build into my euphoria. No, that's literally dumb. Don't do that. Literally a waste of time, teaches you nothing. Smash that MFing like button. Still trying to click. I'm coming up on 2 years learning to trade. Still have times where I think I can't do it. Again, follow a system. If you're not following a system, that is why you feel like that. You need to do the same thing over and over again like we just talked. Build a system. Give yourself the structure and stability that you don't have. And I'm talking to everybody. I'm not talking to Jack. I'm not talking to Chris. I'm talking to everybody. Everybody deals with this. 40% is still your weak point? Good. It should be a weak point. I'm trying to make this clear. 40% literally stands for 40% probability. That means out of 100%, only 40% of the time is that going to work for you. So when should you trade those? Very rarely. And if you do take them, light risk. And guys, look, the low is holding, so we didn't get a crackdown under this. Just as soon as it was looking super bearish, they end up holding, and now we're getting some buying movements. We'll see, can they hold over this? I'm liking the 15-minute a lot more over time, because you got an indecisive candle, but you have a longer wick underneath. And you almost got the same thing happening again here with the bigger body now. So we'll see if that body holds or what. That's why I don't know, because I wouldn't have held over the previous all-time high. Even multiple cons, I wouldn't have taken it that far. Yeah, exactly. So there's like literally no point looking. It's just, you're looking at a contract that's killing it. Like, it's not really fair for yourself to look back at that and be like, yeah, I would have done that. I gotta know. Like, that's what stops me from looking, at least. Because it's like, if I would have realistically done it, yeah, I'll go look. I'd be like, oh, damn, nice. Okay, so that's something I need to look forward to. Okay, I get that. Like, that's learning. That's not like, oh, I need to build my ego, or, oh, I need to feel better about myself. Because that's what that sounds like when someone says, I need to go check the con of this thing because it's running, or I need to go check this because it's falling through the floor, or blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't really help you with anything. Unless you're doing it for that realistic reason of like, oh, okay, this was my target. How much would this have been at? Oh, okay. So, like, that's a learning experience. A said, I always thought it was bet 40% of your port. I really hope nobody took it that way. Taffy said, doesn't help besides getting me mad, lol. You are not wrong. It creates unneeded pressure. I mean, it creates like just super unneeded pressure. You're sitting there thinking like about one thing and about your trade, and then randomly you'll have this PTSD memory like, man, remember that one time you made 500% on cost, but you sold it 25% or blah blah blah. It's like, if you let that sit over you, you are going to make bad choices. You're allowing very toxic thoughts to just sit in your head. And yeah, could print 2 dojis on the 15 peoples, I agree. Could just be as indecisive as the first 15. Matthew said SPY has higher lows and higher highs. You are correct. On the 1 minute and the 5 minute now, which is looking a lot better. Like I said, if they were to pull away here and they make like a lower high here, that would have been really nice, but they didn't. So we'll see. Can they get over 469.73s, 470s area? Buyers are still present. You are still in seller control, but buyers are definitely starting to show themselves a lot more. Just again, typing 470 is key and adding everyone, or adding here. 470 is key. I like the low. I like the higher low, because this is where it was supposed to get very nasty, and bears could have made it a lot easier for themselves. They did not. So we'll see if they end up taking it here. Because if they make the low under this area, you do need to not be in a bullish play. You need to be waiting to see does a lower high pop up, or worse, fresh lows. But Peoples is also correct. If we were to print 2 back-to-back dojis on the 15-minute, which this one's finally getting closer to its close, then we know we have even more, which we already know we have indecision. You have one here with a slightly bigger wick, and then here you have wick, small body. So even if it does move in the last couple minutes here, it is indecisive. It is indecisive because the majority of that candle traded like that. So we're getting a lot of indecision right at the open, which again just means you need to sit on your hands and wait for better direction or wait for something that you personally look for. So if you like this retest at 469.70s and you like that it continues rejecting it, then go short. If you want to see a bullish play, you need to wait for 469.70s and 470 to pop over or see any kind of bullish pressure pop up on the chart holding that area. Bullish candlesticks, higher lows, anything. That's really what I mean when I say pressure. Selling pressure, lower highs, bearish candlesticks. Buying pressure, bullish candlesticks, higher lows. That's what we want to see. Right now, bears are still in control from the open. Bulls have definitely given signs of life and definitely made it not as easy for the bears to get into this chart. But they are back down to where they were on the 1 minute. We'll see here on the 5 minute. Do we get a close here? We have another minute on this chart, on this chart, on this chart. So all 3 charts have a minute before we have one more candle close. SPY higher lows and higher highs on the 1 minute. Ace says, I like 80% port plays. Mel said, like I am in puts. And look, if that holds us another low. Because look, they did come down. They rejected this. They came down, but they did not break the area we literally talked about. This is where they need to break to make this a lot better looking. But they did get close. So we should still be looking to see does another rejection happen here before we're looking for bullish plays, because we have not seen the bullish area hold yet. I will say this, the consolidation throughout the first 30 minutes, everybody, I think we can all agree that this is a very good thing for either side, because this now gives the chart life. Gives the chart potential of actually moving today. So very, very nice thing. And you saw this in the first half of yesterday as well, before very large moves were made. MCD broke yesterday low. Been riding puts since yesterday. Nice, Kim. Nice. How my brain works. Gotta love that I named it that. Wow, single black crow against supply. I can't hate on that. This is essentially like a 50-50 entry on the daily time frame, because you found supply, you found a bearish candlestick. I like that. And yeah, you did get a slightly higher open, but you got the new low of day. It broke yesterday's close. So you got multiple confirmations over and over and over again that bears were still trying to pull back a little bit. But be careful, 286 is pretty important. I'd also say I'd really combine 286 with the low of this move, so like 283.40s to 286. Just for short-term price action look. But not bad, Chem. Very, very nice. Bearish 15-minute, but in range of first 15-minute doji. It's kind of like a bullish doji, but yeah, I'm going to keep calling it a doji as well because it's indecisive. There's wicks on both sides. The body's non-existent. Very indecisive. Also, 30-minute looking strong, so I'm just still going to chill. Totally fine. I like your plan on that, to be honest. Liking the price action updates today so far. And look at this time frame. I didn't even connect the dots really till just now, but you know, we're having this like reaction where it's like, why aren't we falling yet? Why aren't we falling yet? But we have clear bears here, right? But we're not falling through anything, you know. And then you look over here on this chart and you're like, oh, well, we're right at support. We're right at 469, which is kind of like where this came down to, held the higher low of, you know. So looks like 469 to the downside and 470 to the upside is what we're looking at right now. We have about $1 range. How's everyone so far, though? We have been in stream for a little over 30 minutes. Just checking on everybody stream-wise and trading-wise. How are you guys? Are you looking at anything? Are you trading anything? Are you in anything? Are you just looking around? Are you sitting cash? Well, what's everyone looking at? Let me know what tickers you guys are looking at. That's really what I want to know. On here, tickers and game plans. AMD. Yeah, AMD's kind of on fire again today. Well, they were. What happened? They hit that next level and then lost 138.80s, which I told my chat this level here is pretty damn important. Because if you go to the previous couple days, that day's open, this is where they rejected from before pulling back lower. So that's a bearish level, right? They lost it, held it. So, I mean, this is where plays are happening from on AMD. So when they broke it here, it looks like they just wanted the overnight gap. When they broke it here, now you need to see, do they actually want to break over that next level that they couldn't the previous time. So it's kind of like how SPY is sitting right now, just different part of their chart. Ooh, UNH possibly losing levels. We'll see if some buying pressure shows up. Banks on JPM also making a lower high. Berk B also making a lower high. Please F off. This only shows up when I'm streaming. I swear, I'll get off stream and I'll never see this pop up again. It's like I just need to load my TOS for a couple hours before stream. And I have messaged them about that report. I'm like, what the hell is this? Nobody has answers. Nvidia is at 489.30s. Pretty impressive chart on Nvidia. Same for Microsoft. Apple's really just settling, building base. Really nothing crazy going on there. Yo, peoples. He said, what? Member for 10 months, man. Glad to have you. XOK trying for a new high, but healthcare got shot. Looking at BA for signs of exhaustion if they do. A monthly resistance right now. And SLB Sitting cash, waiting for opportunities. Spy futures per usual. I'm in pain. I just had to work email about 10 different failures that I have to work on. Oxy. We'll look at Oxy. Looking at BA longs. Apple out resistance. SF looking at Costco. Alright, let's look at Oxy. Oxy in the cut. Cut that. Daily real quick, because I just gotta see what the hell I'm looking at for a second. Look, I even have a Daffy chart. Jesus, Daffy played the first reactive move off of historical demand. We just didn't know if it was going to react or not. But really nice move, though, because they got a nice higher open over that day's low and then a higher close. It's a very strong candle, holding a strong area. And now they've gotten a nice short-term reaction to the first level above. So a very, very strong move from support to resistance. But this is called the first impulse move. If they were to come down and hold this gap, or come down and hold any percentage of a higher low, again going from the low of this move to the high of the move before the slowdown. So again, kind of just highlighting, what is that, 5740 to, no. I gotta start back here because I have OHLC on. 5740 down to 4672. So we can see reversals down to that. Down to just fill the gap, which it looks like it's pretty much the same thing. And we see any kind of bullish pressure pick up here. I would definitely expect more buyers to pop back up on the Oxy chart, but you also have some energy news revolving around this. A lot of people, for some reason, are bearish on energy with all the inflation and stuff coming down. But it's funny because the oil situation has not changed whatsoever. If anything, it's gotten worse. Countries have been asked to stop making as much oil and energy in that regard because they want to start moving in the direction of electricity, generators, and all that good stuff, EV, essentially. And every single country, United States, Europe, anybody you can think of, any continent, any country you can think of, all of them said, F you, I'm going to keep making oil, I'm going to keep making what I'm making, because we're at a part of the world right now where if energy was to just abruptly end for a certain country, that could be the end of that country. Their people could literally see the worst days to come, including us, including the United States. I know that sounds crazy to talk about. It's like some caveman talk shit, but I'm serious. Energy is that crucial today. And most countries are just going against the grain and saying, no, I'm going to continue producing energy and oil because we need it. We need it. If anything worse was to happen, we don't know what to expect. That's what every country is basically saying today. So the energy crisis is still very large, is still very big, is still very around for a big part of the world still. Most of Europe, most of the United States. So that's a lot of fucking people. And if we're struggling, think about the countries under us. So energy is still very, very relevant. I would not be surprised to see this base out over time. And then pick back up. I really would not be surprised to see a lot of those energy charts just grind up over time because of what kind of pressure they're under in the real world, as well as with the money. Again, money moves around a crazy amount, and energy sector is definitely going to be re-rotated into over time. It's just going to take its sweet time. Don't expect to see one really big candle and then it just flies. No, it's going to have to build some base. It's energy. That's what energy is famous for. Energy, healthcare, staples, they love to build long periods of consolidation before giving you that move. And that's because that's how money works. Money rotates in that period of time. Every time you see a base build, that's money rotating. Every time you see a doji, that's a possible transfer of power. That's how money sees this stuff. They don't see levels, they don't draw zones, they don't do all that crap. They just see it. But good looks though, Daffy. Hopefully, or anybody looking at Oxy, not just Daffy, but anybody looking at Oxy or that energy sector, because I love the energy sector. I just think it's going to be slow. I don't think you're going to get like massive movements instantly. Like you're going to get great moves here and there, but you need to be very patient in between those periods. It's not just going to go up, not just going to go straight down. It is going to have those periods where it just kind of builds base. Because if you had continued shorting it the other week, it had screwed you. Daffy had held through those shorts and averaged down, I think, once or twice. I can't remember how many times. I was off one of those days. But he then he posted like 3% gains on 3 different Oxy contracts. You know, it's like he just stuck to his plan. That's exactly what I'm talking about with you guys in trading. Like, it doesn't matter if things go against you or not. Like, what matters is if you stuck to your plan or not. You know, so anybody could be bashing Daffy and be like, oh yeah, but you averaged down. It's like, yeah, but he stuck to what he talked about. It held the area he talked about. It pushed higher. Now he's up. He can take profits. Doesn't have to worry about it. But that I want to talk about that too, because that was pretty interesting. A lot of scared traders in the chat, guys. Don't be scared to be taking plays, man. Especially when the TA makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense to you, then you don't need to be taking the play. You need to be going over the TA and making it make sense. Going over not just the TA itself, but going over how did he get the levels, how did they get the zones. Go over that stuff. Get it on your own. Fuck you, Roku. It did it again. It gave us a second entry and I wasn't here. I don't think I would have taken that anyway, because I knew that we had news today. Still, though, that's crazy. Sitting cash, looking at SPY. YouTube was lagging a bit for me. Damn. 10 months with my new adoptive dad. Daffy chart. Yeah, man, I got my Daffy chart. I have charts that I name after all of you. If there's a chart that someone reminds me of, or like that I see someone trade a lot, like if I look at, I don't know, what do we see? Like Tobias. Okay, wait, that'd be a bad example. I don't know what he trades. I think he just trades SPY and SPX. But like Mel, like if I was looking at Mel, I'd be like, oh, SPX. And if I have like an extra chart, I'll probably just name it the Mel chart. So I remember, oh, I was going over this SPX chart with Mel. And vice versa for like Alexis looking at Boeing. I'll label the chart Alexis chart. And then I'll remember, oh, I was going over with Santana with this stuff. We were going over blah, blah, blah. Tobias chart is a shitco on steroids. Oxy held daily support. I'm scared. Can you hold my hand? Nope, sorry. And puts waiting for the drop, struggling to close above 469.73. Stop loss at 470.25. I guess that is not a good example. Full said, hilarious how people think oil and gas are going to go away. If the Texas blizzard was any indication, we need it more than ever. Oh, yeah. No, and I was literally here for it, you know? Power was out. If you didn't have a generator, you were literally freezing in your house. And that was for like a week. And that was from another thing too, fool, is people don't understand like the allocation of resources. Like if Texas was to just disappear, a third of the United States is not running anymore, is not doing a thing, because a third of the United States is powered by energy that comes from this area. And that happens all over the country for all different kinds of things. And that's what people don't realize either. But yeah, no, it's crazy. If anybody here thinks oil and gas is going away anytime soon, I would love to hear your thoughts, because I would love to test somebody who's crazy. Hey B, would you say HD has been a bearish kicker on the daily? Let me look. I mean, it's not really fair to say because you don't have a close of this candle, but technically, yes, it is. But you need a red print to follow. So right now you're kind of waiting on it, but yes, you do have a bearish kicker because it opened entirely under the previous day open and close. So it looks a little awkward because it's not really red or green, it's just kind of like a doji. But yes, essentially by the rules of how we look at candlesticks, that is a bearish kicker. Because it opened entirely under the previous day open and close, not just one or the other. So very, very strong lower open for that chart. Apple new high of day, great call up by D-Touch Clutch. Sovereign state of Texas. What's most interesting is the insane risk of energy and transportation. Europe gets USA and Africa, Middle East oil, while China, Middle East, and Africa get Russian stuff. The supply lines are so huge. Oh, and then you have to also think about the cross lines. Like, people don't even know that some of our allies still buy oil from Russia, and it's not their fault. It's because they literally cannot afford to buy oil from any other part of the world. So they hit up Russia, like, yo, can we get a deal? USA said it was cool. I need a little bit cheaper oil. You're kind of screwing me here. And there's a lot of countries like that. India, Japan. I can go on and on and on. And then you have countries rerouting oil buys, rerouting oil transportation, going from what country to another country to ship it to them. And that's making people lose billions of dollars. So there's a lot of money going into the energy sector. My money is on Elon Musk taking over the world. Don't need oil or gas. Elon Musk himself said, though, that oil and gas is not going anywhere. We still need it. Come to Canada, you'll see oil and gas isn't going anywhere for a long time. Same for nuclear. Eco-warriors just don't understand how green it has become compared to other sources of energy like solar and wind. The only thing that's wrong with nuclear energy, and I have researched all this pretty in depth, the only thing that's wrong with nuclear energy, and I don't even really care about the extra waste. I'm not even that kind of person. I'm not going to be like, oh, I give a shit about that. No, I don't. We could just put that somewhere like we do solar panels. But what I don't like about nuclear energy is the amount of water that is used. And people think this is just for hydro plants or just for hydronuclear. No, any level of nuclear energy being used, you have to have water plants. You have to have cooling plants. And that takes a lot of fresh water. You can't use whatever other kinds of water. You can't use seawater. You can't use that stuff. You have to use fresh water to use these cooling plants. And so that's the problem, is that it uses a lot of resources we don't need to be using like that. Like, we shouldn't just be using fresh water as an expendable like that. Only for his rocket ships. That was a good reply, Ace. I like that. Only for his rocket ships. So other sources like solar and wind, yeah. And other people don't even realize how much worse wind is than nuclear. So, like, nuclear energy, we use a lot of water, and there's a lot of excrement waste that gets put into other areas that probably doesn't need to be in. Like when France uses it, they put it into, like, Bosnia or something. They literally ruin another country because of their nuclear energy. But something about solar and wind, really, are solar panels. And you know those big windmills, guys, with the big, arms, they kind of spin in the air? Well, those get maintenance on, and over time they break. I think some of them have like a span of 10 or 15 years of life. Some of them even longer, depending on who made them. But those just get buried under the ground because we have no way of breaking them down. There isn't a way of just setting it on fire and it just disappears. No, you can't. It'll literally stay there forever. So we have to literally bury it under the ground. So over time, that will also be a problem. So you could see every type of energy has its ups and downs in the long run. But energy is not going anywhere. Oil's not going anywhere. Gas, fossil fuels, electricity, these are going to be used a lot more over time. But again, I think when people hear me say that, they're thinking like, oh, he's talking about like 2 years from now. I'm talking 20, 30 years from now. Yes, it is one of the cleanest. But I was just giving the ups and downs of every type of energy because some people don't know that stuff. Some people don't know that a lot of water gets used with that. China has that problem. China spends a insane amount on nuclear energy. It's for the lower part of China. They don't use it across all of China. But for the southern part of China, it's like southwest. They use a lot of nuclear energy, and they use a lot of water. They constantly complain about how much money is going into it. Oh no, yeah, and that's the thing, fool. They are working on like better things like that to recover some of it. But that's the only thing that's bad about it, though, for the most part. Besides, of course, some of the waste. But again, if we're cool with shoving solar panels and huge windmill arms in the ground, why are we not cool with doing the other? So it's like, I don't know. It's give or take. And you guys can see I'm pretty serious about it. I do research some of these sectors a lot because it's interesting how some of them are affected by different events in the world. Some of the prices are affected by these events. It's wild. And it's funny because like everyone's always saying like, oh, most wars are started because of oil and gas. Like, yeah, you're right, but why do you know nothing about it still? Like, it's like, the basics of it. You have the ground covered, but you don't know what's just under the ground. Like, figure that out. Just research a little bit more. Read about it a little bit more. You can literally type in on Google the most basic questions ever and then hit that generative AI, and you could literally read just quick, vague comments that make a lot of sense. And just try to remember some of those points. Write them down if you need to. About anything, not just about this. You could do that with anything. If you wanted to be like, what's the best tech stock? Go research. What are some of the top tech stocks, and then go over which one you think is the best. I mean, it'd all be opinionated, of course, but still interesting. Spy buyers are definitely still present. Even with the amount of basing. Higher lows and all day. Higher lows all day and basing. 470 is key. So we got an indecisive candle that was slightly more bullish because it was a longer wick on the bottom, and it was a green print. Then you just got kind of like a reset candle that didn't really break anything, but it definitely scared a lot of people because it was just, again, re-breaking today's open. Slightly positive candle as they retook everything, basically. And then we're kind of getting like this candle, but with a positive print. So really looking like we're about to launch to go fill that gap. Unless we see a crack back under 470s. My friends. I'm trying to stream and I look in the chat. They're talking about something just hilarious. By the way, is the music too loud or too quiet? You guys can definitely bully me if it is. Just let me know. Alright, I'm back. 470, still a resistance. Isn't that nice? I was really hoping to come back and you guys would be like, Bueller, you missed it. Bueller popped off, or Spy popped off, blah, blah, blah. Nope. Josh Cardi dropped another song. I don't care. I'm waiting for the Kanye album. If you aren't waiting for the Kanye album, I don't want to hear from you. I guarantee you that depleted nuke fuel is less costly to store than the mountains of waste and green. 100% full. I agree with your solar panel comment. It is alright here and there, but long term it's not the answer. Maddie Clam said, nah, B. Nowadays it's all about having opinions on subjects that no one knows anything about. Volume's fine. Okay, good. They cloned him. Stayed up last night, and it didn't drop, but Cardi did. Cardi is now my hero. That's because Kanye West is gonna be like, it's gonna be a good album. He's put so many stinkers out that the next one's gonna be good. Target finally moving. That's the comment I wanted to see. That's the one I was waiting for, I swear. Am I even on the right chart? I am not. Oh, by the way, for anybody who cares about this kind of stuff, and you don't need to come sign up for this, but if you want to come tune in, that's also cool. I think I'm doing this for free. I don't think I'm... Yeah, this is like a free thing, I think. So if you click on this, which I don't know if it's free to get in here. I'm just saying I'm doing it for free. But this says... Here, I'll click on this first. But there's a big like event happening where there's only 100 spots on Saturday, December 23rd. I was kind of keeping this away from y'all because I think I'm going to get a recording of it anyway, and then I could just kind of make it unlisted for you guys, which I think both these guys will be cool with. But I was the first surprise speaker to be invited, so I'm glad to be part of this. But it's going to be with Ace and Champion Vibe, number one Spaces host, and then the New York Stock Exchange guy that we talked about. Actually, here's him introducing, but here is the stream if anybody needs it, which you guys should all have access to. I think this is a public video. The stream we did with Champions Vibe. Videos. Yeah, this one right here. 3 weeks ago. So it's public. So if anybody wants to watch that interview or that breakdown of me and him being together in the stream, there it is. But that is where I will be on December 23rd. I think that's a Saturday, if I'm correct. But yeah, that's where I'll be. But excited about that. But yeah, I'll ask Champion or Ace. I'll be like, hey man, do y'all have a recording of this, or can I have this? I swear I won't make it public. I swear. Which I need to go back in my DMs to see what the hell I'm going to be talking about that day. I know it's all about day trading, but that day I'm going to be covering shit you've all heard a million times. No, let's look though. Let's see. I said I can cover a small segment on day-to-day levels, managing them, or if you'll need me to cover something else, let me know. Okay, yeah, never mind. It looks like I'm just covering whatever I want. Cool. But yeah, and you guys know me, I hate doing like events with other traders because I just have no faith or trust in any other trader or other groups. But these are people that have learned things from us, who have gone out into the world on their own and came back and given us a piece as well. So I definitely respect Champion Vibe and Ace, and I'm very happy to be a part of anything that they want to do, any of the projects they do in the future. So pretty cool. No, I don't think it was pushed back, Maddie. I think it was just some Kanye stuff, where he's like, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm not releasing this. I was just trolling. And then he holds it over our head for 6 months. I could totally see him doing it. I would love a recording. Edging me. It really is edging. Triple Q is in supply of previous day highs, You have SPY trying to hold the kind of lows of yesterday. Really, we have triple Qs and SPY, two completely different parts of their charts. They're up against previous day high supply. They're down holding previous day lows right now. All right, guys. I gotta stretch before I say this one. All right, so I am liking buyers here on SPY as long as this gray area that is highlighted holds. If you want to give yourself an actual level, you can just focus on today's open. But I am liking buyers a hell of a lot more here than I was earlier. The only thing that's kind of stopping me from being completely bullish is the triple Qs being in supply of previous day high. So we're going to need to see, are they testing past this or are they rejecting? But I like buyer moves. I am officially flipping for short-term trades. Oh my. If you guys want to know what I'm reacting to, just go to results and review. I'm not commenting on it any further. Hidden Land, are you in stream right now? You are. Dear Lord. Yeah, he is an AI. Oh my God. I gotta tweet this. I never tweet this kind of shit because it's like I hate posting gains, like for people to see gains, because then it's like, oh, this is what this group does. Like, no, I hate that stuff. But I gotta post this one. This one's pretty good. He says, shh, I do this for once a year, then immediately go negative for 3. Hey, but that one was good, though. I swear he comes in, drops some gold, then just dabs on us pores. Now, but alright, so before I go any further with this, the only reason like I say that stuff is like, generally, Jay has been around for years, guys, so it's not like you're going to see those gains after a year or two of trading, like, and you shouldn't expect to see them after a year or two of trading, right? Jay's been around me since almost 6 years ago. I've known Jay for a little over 6 years. It was before I even had Bueller buys. We were just I was in my only other group at the time. This one, like, big scammer was running it. We didn't know he was a scammer at the time, again. And it was weird because, like, they wouldn't post as much, and I became, like, the main poster of the Discord. Like, everybody knew who I was. And I think I was still Bueller at the time. I was either Bueller or just Josh. I don't even remember anymore. But that's what started Bueller Buys, is, like, everybody knew who I was because of that one group, and then it turned into more, and then we just kind of kept gathering people, and then, you know, stuff like that. But he was around me when we were both members of that group, and we had seen it, you know, kind of go to shit pretty instantly. It was like, what the hell's happening here? Like, a lot of really cool, fun people in there. Like, they had a really good marketing team somehow, but they had horrible, you know, everything else. It was like, what the hell's going on in here? So, yeah, but it's just cool to see one of those people, like, from those days do really good, because those are the days where, like, if you just survived, I counted that as a win, you know? So to see someone striving from those days, it's more than just saying they survived. They completely kicked ass. And there's not really many people I have around me from those days. Like, there's Jay, and then there's Oscar. And then we have a couple other people around that, like Tran. I'm trying to think of other ones. I can't even remember them all. Like, Dylan. I don't know why it's so easy for me to forget Dylan. Technical Traders, OG Scam Group. Yeah, bro, that group was crazy. Yeah, Dylan's been around forever, sadly. Yeah, that's what's awesome though. But it also kind of gives you like a time thing. It's like, oh, Jay's seeing these kind of gains like this many years in. Like, that's something I should work towards. Or, you know, someone under us going, that's something I should work towards. You know, knowing that you have to have 4, 5, 6 years in the game before you actually start to see true gains. I also had a humbling moment too, because I had this really hot streak going, and you guys, we already kind of covered this. I had this huge hot streak, then I kind of hit a wall, and then I slowed down, and then I was kind of rebuilding myself back up. I ended up watching a couple videos and reading a couple tweets from like really big famous traders who, not famous, but like big in terms of like they literally manage like billions of dollars for banks. And I was reading through some of their stories, and it was interesting. Some of them would be like, I was so hot-headed and cocky, and I thought I knew everything, and then I got into these things, and I started doing that, and I started getting ahead of myself. And he said, like, around, like, year 5 or 6 is when he hit this wall where he just could not make a good trade. And then he said it literally took him stepping away from the markets for, like, 3 to 4 months before reapproaching the market again with a different mindset. You know, same strat, same everything, but different mindset. Different mindset in terms of like, well, I don't know everything. I know losing sucks, and I've been very humbled. So let me actually stick to my system and not just touch every little candle that moves, or do every little thing that I can make up and say is part of my strat when it's really not. You know, and that's something, some things you'll do as you start to become more successful in trading. You'll start to realize like, wow, I'm really good at this. And then you get ahead of yourself and you almost become your own problem. You know, and if you ever do reach that wall, restarting is the greatest thing. And it really does give you it really is about the refresh kind of state of mind, being refreshed, because it puts you back in this place of like stability and back to square one. But you're still the same you. You still know all the strats. You still know everything that you were doing. It's just a different mindset. Again, refreshed. It's like taking a swig of water. Like, it feels really good. You know, you go for a run and then you get a little bit of water in you. It feels great. That's what it feels like when you return to the charts, or return to trying to trade again after hitting what you thought was a wall, when it was really just yourself needing a little bit of a break. You know that group? Yeah, thank God they're not around anymore. Dylan also pops in once in a while to give you the best Amazon play ever, then disappears. Yeah, he is still the Amazon god. I will never take that away from him. He is still one of the best people at breaking down what Amazon might be doing next for bigger and smaller time frames. I still don't understand how, but he is pretty good at that. He's been pretty busy though, Jay. He got into I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this, but he got into being an electrician, but for, I can't think of the word now. For a huge company though, and he's doing great. He's got amazing benefits, amazing pay. He's learning a lot. He's having fun. So I still have very close contact with Dylan. He's doing great though. He's still the same old goofy Dylan. All right, well, we hit 470s, slowed down. We're still holding above the previous day lows on SPY. We're still in the previous day high supply on Triple Q. These are two different areas we have to watch for both of these charts, because this is just as important as this. If they can hold this and build higher lows and build up, that's bullish. But if we end up getting a rejection here, we're going to have mixed movement here, and SPY is going to be building a lot of indecisive price action as well as just consolidating, so pretty normal. Oscar, I'm sure he's doing great as well. I didn't talk to his brother for a little bit, but then I talked to him once, and he told me about Oscar, but I haven't talked to him for a little bit. But I'm sure Oscar's great. I think he's been getting into other projects to keep himself busy, because he's just one of those people that is never just going to sit still. That man's going to keep grinding forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Oscar's like the role model for all of us like traders from back in the day. That's awesome. We talk every once in a while on Instagram. He's always going to be a good homie, for sure, for sure. And that's pretty cool that we can like say that kind of stuff too. I hope other people in here end up, having friends in here over time. It's pretty cool, making memories with people, especially with the stock market, because it's very memorable. Where were you when the COVID crash happened? Me and Dylan will sit there and talk about all the cruise line and airline stocks that we talked about. That was the only two sectors we looked at when everything fell. And then we ended up looking at everything after and just kind of laughing at ourselves, and it was pretty fun. But it's nice to have trading friends, nice to have trading buddies. Be sure to engage in the trade floor on Discord. I'm not lying. That is how we developed the friends we have today. It was just speaking out more. In the very beginning, all of us were quiet. None of us liked talking to each other. It was all about trading. It was all about trying to make money, business, and anything else was noise. But then, over time, you start to make losses. You start to collect experience, I should say. And then you get to these conversations on like a trade floor or a random chat or whatever, and you end up finding a couple people that kind of align with your thoughts. It's kind of nice too. It's not like you're all looking to be right or wrong. It's just looking to plan something and stick to what you had planned. But yeah, pretty cool. But I hope to see a lot more of you guys engage in the trade floor, posting in the post charts channel, dropping your reviews in the result and review channel. There are tons of amazing posts in each of those channels, and it's a really just good routine for yourself if you want to put yourself out there openly. If you want to do it on your own in the secrecy of things, great. That'll work too. Nothing wrong with that. Be comfortable. Tobias said, "Boys, it's the weekend. I'm gonna go party." Sweet. Happy weekend, everyone. Cheers and see you next time. See you later, Tobias. Thank you again, man. Always appreciate your company in here. And thank you guys for getting the stream over 40 likes today. How long is everyone going to be on today? Are you guys going to be chilling all day? Are we doing a half day? How is everyone doing? Really is what I'm asking. Everybody fatigued, or is everybody feeling energetic today? I just like posting to hold myself accountable. That's a good system, Jack, what he just said. He said, I just like posting to hold myself accountable. You know, like we talked about before, you know, when you're in the army or you're in the military, you're going to have somebody over you always getting onto your ass and making sure you're in line. It's not like that in the stock market. You don't have somebody yelling in your ear or telling you how to do things the right way and then, you know, keeping you in line to do them the right way. You don't have that. You have to be your own disciplinary, right? And that's exactly why I like what Jack said, posting things openly, keeping yourself accountable. It's not about looking cool in front of everybody else. It's about posting it so you go, you know what? I posted it in front of everyone. Let me go out there again and let me update it or let me re-review it again and just kind of keep telling the story of what I had posted. You know, and that right there is amazing for growth in so many ways. You'll end up being pretty popular in chat. You'll end up making a lot of friends. You'll end up understanding price action a lot more over time. You'll feel more disciplined, so you'll probably follow your game plans better. I mean, it's beneficial in so many directions. Oh, I wasn't asking y'all if I was doing a full day stream or not. I was asking how long y'all were going to be here. Because I think I'm going to do a half day stream. But overall, I am very happy to sit here and chill and conversate with everybody who's here. All day, half day, all day, half day, full day, full day. Feels good when you were right. When you were wrong, you have something to review and learn from. Exactly. And if you ever go through that and it just none of it makes sense, it's just random. I'm on as long as you are on, trading or not. I'm here to listen and learn. Awesome, Chuck. Thank you, man. I always appreciate you. Wish we had more like you. Whole day, schmol day. VC, where did you copy and paste that from? Who the hell is Adam Mancini? Oh, never mind. I think I know exactly what you're getting this from. I'll read you the Friday report. Which it's funny that that's what that guy posted in your feed, because it's not even what came out today. Today's focus was manufacturing numbers, manufacturing and service numbers, PMI numbers, you know, data. But the U.S. S&P Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index is an economic indicator that assesses the performance of the manufacturing sector in the United States. It is based on a survey of purchasing managers in manufacturing businesses and measures factors such as business activity, new orders, and employment. As a diffusion index, a PMI reading above 50 generally indicates expansion in the manufacturing sector, while below 50 suggests contraction. The S&P Manufacturing PMI provides valuable insights into the health and trends of the United States manufacturing industry, serving as an important indicator for analysts, policymakers, and investors. Pretty cool. What to expect? The manufacturing PMIs have been hovering on the edge of contraction and expansion, but the reports have started to shed light on the employment situation in the manufacturing sector, which is beginning to cool, and is good news for inflation risk. A slight contraction in manufacturing could cause strength in U.S. stocks and weakness in the dollar, but anything more may spark recession fears. And all those numbers already came out. That's what came out today. So what you're trading off of is the fact that we have data that's giving you both bullish and bearish sentiment. That is why we are not moving today. Twitter? Yeah, I would probably stay away from Twitter on that one. Don't let anybody tell you what's the largest historical day not to trade. And even if they are right, it doesn't matter, because I promise you that person has no idea what they're talking about. People who have only been trading for 4 years can't tell you historical data. That's just logic. But the reason we're not moving as much today is because of what I just talked about. But thank you for sharing anyway, because it is kind of cool to get different insights and see what is everyone else thinking about. I think the main reason I even check Twitter anymore, besides posting myself or reacting to traders I like to talk to, and or answering you guys, I always like to answer and reply and like y'all's tweets as well. Besides that, it is kind of nice to get a general consensus on what all the idiots think. And what I mean by that is, what does the rest of the market think? What does the rest of retail traders think? If you look over Twitter right now, everybody's posting bullish SPY plays. No shit. But in a couple weeks, when we start making highs and then a lower high and we pull back down, you're still going to see people do that. And it's because of the euphoria. Everyone's going to think we're just going to keep going. Eventually, we will not. Now, I'm not going to say when, because we don't know when. We've gotten multiple slowdowns that held. We talked about the importance of consolidation here. We talked about how hitting 470s was very possible. I don't think I said we'd hit 473 on the dot or anything, but we did say this was possible. If you'd like to check out that stream clip, you can actually go to the clips part of the channel, and I think it's the latest one. But either way, we have the same thing happening here again. Regardless of us getting a bearish candle, we never got follow through. We have a indecisive candle. This is not a bearish candle. Lower open, yeah, that makes it bearish, but we didn't lose anything. We're still holding 468.94. So, looks like we're still going to be consolidating at a higher level right now. Just posted a chart of the trade floor with a post from last night that holds me accountable for what I was looking for. I'd like you to bring it up if you don't mind. No problem, let's bring it on. My bad, I was answering my friends. We're over here roasting football teams and stuff. It's my favorite pastime. We discussed in stock, and stock talk how the hold of previous time highs was a strong support. Him looking at that, and then being able to go back to it now. Thank you, Sandollar. But look at all these updates by everybody. Like, this is holding yourself accountable. It's like, is he saying he wants to be right or wrong? No, he's just talking about a couple things that make sense to him, and then if he takes trades off in the future, he can re-refer to this. Great post. Sandollar was SPY. We got a couple people talking. Meta, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Microsoft. Took my L. Do a blood. In premium the other day when I was or I don't know if it was I was gone or if it was the day before. Either way, we had taken profit on those Roku puts because everything had dumped, and then it built a hammer. And I saw Dondu went into the premium chat, called out calls, was like, guys, I like how it's holding this. It was bearish, but it's holding now bullish, and it was amazing. And then it ended up rallying really quick, which I think a lot of things did, but still, it was still nice to see. Because we had just talked about that, you know, really good bearish invalidations turn into some of your strongest bullish plays and vice versa. All I typed is that bulls are still in control ever since the retake and hold the previous day lows. And then on triple Q, I typed inside of the previous day high zone. That was it. That's all I typed. Nothing new. Is everybody up to speed? We understand why we're bullish on SPY. We understand everything that's happened up to this point. We understand all that. I don't want anyone to be sitting here going, I don't know if we're bullish or not. Well, we are. We retook previous day lows, which that was what turned this bearish. They end up retaking it very slowly, but this is what I'm talking about. If you go back to any of my breakdowns of ugly price action, they are needed, right? This isn't ugly. This all makes sense when you break it down. Everyone will sit here and be like, this is chop. No, it is not. We got a lower open with the potential of turning this chart bearish short term, right? And then it didn't. So what does this chart now have to do? Think logically. What does this chart have to do now over whatever period of time to make this bullish again? They have to slowly retake what they lost, but they aren't just going to do that in a couple candles. They're not going to make it obvious because, again, everybody, what does big money love to do? Not make it obvious, because then all of us would jump into winning trades. Nobody would ever have a problem, right? So they have to make it not very obvious. And you can see they did just exactly that. Green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle, green candle. It's just over and over and over and over and over. You have inside candle, outside candle, inside candle, hammer, inside candle, doji, doji. Then it finally breaks. You know, so a lot of indecision here. And this is very normal. So this is why I say, like, when you take your trades, have invalidation points. Make it make sense to you. You have to have an absolute path in front of you. Therefore, whenever these weird, ugly, choppy price action days happen, which, if that's what you want to call it, be my guess, but don't be negative, that is going to be the crucial part of the chart every single time. Seeing that not obvious price action pop up and seeing the retake of something, seeing the higher low of something, then trusting it. You know, having time go by, seeing multiple things pop up on the chart before it pushes you into the trade. That is what's going to give you a strong, powerful trade. Bro, Cowboys Super Bowl this year, watch. They could. I hate to say it, but they could. Sinful would love to hear you say that. Breaking the range would look good for more upside, in my opinion. Slowly heading towards GP of overnight gap. Ah, good looks, Maddie. Why didn't anybody yell at me? If you Take the fib from previous day close down to today's open. This is how you accurately track the overnight gap with a fib. From the close to the open. And you are correct. We have gotten pretty close to the control point. Oh, wait, what did you say? Oh, you said GP. But yeah, that is where they're, I guess, trying to head. We'll see if they can get to 471s-ish. Yep. Clear understanding of the levels, though, Maddie. I love to see it. Alright, let's see what you hooligans are saying here in YouTube chat. 15-minute IB on target currently. Control point was my original call target. Sold sell at 10:35-ish though, as I was getting mentally drained. Feel that? Sold sell. I'm tired. Yeah. I heard that and I was like, wait, what? I tried to read it 3 different times. I sold my soul and I hit the sell and sold. I sold my cell, okay? Don't judge me. Nah, that's funny. And hey, if you're mentally drained, like, that's fine. Or it's Friday. You guys have probably been at this all week. You probably started thinking about it Sunday night. You know, you've been at this for a few days. It's okay to be drained. I feel like people get onto themselves too much for this stuff. They're like, man, I should have more fatigue than this, or I should not be so tired yet. Like, no, what? Been thinking about this for almost 6 days straight. You're probably beyond exhausted. That's why I preach the weekend breaks. Like, you really should not look or think about this stuff Friday night, Saturday, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. You should be thinking about this stuff after Sunday afternoon, getting into like the weekly watch list, looking at your own stuff, just kind of really just getting refreshed at what you're looking at this week. What's the news, the earnings, all that good stuff. And again, all that's in the watch list, so you don't even have to look anywhere. But it's nice to go back to your charts, though, get them re-maintenanced on the smaller and bigger time frames. And then when Monday comes around, you're ready for the week ahead. You just go from there. And then repeat, repeat, repeat. But put yourself in that cycle. It's very helpful. And I'm not joking about the whole, like, refresh on the weekend thing. Like, I'll have some of you guys spamming me on a Saturday. And I'm like, man, I don't want to answer this because I know that if we get into it, I'm going to kind of ruin my own thing. You know, it's not about you. It's about me. I don't want to sit there and talk about trading 7 days a week. Give yourself a break. And you might think like, oh, that's stupid. You're not dedicated enough. Like, okay, you haven't traded long enough then. You don't understand what I'm talking about. It is about keeping yourself in the game. Does a car stay on the road its whole life? No. It's maintained many times. SPX projection off of the previous day open, sitting right above previous day close. Great, amazing call out by Zaytoven. Can picture that in my head without even looking. Put in more time than usual this week. Loved every part of it, but Def caught up to me. Hey, that's fine. And you're aware of it, Matthew. That is fine. You're allowed to be tired, man. But I want to let you know that. You know, you don't have to sit here and think like, oh, that means I'm lazy or I'm bad at this or I'm not ready. Like, no, it's completely normal. Happens to literally everyone. I literally look at charts when I'm bored. LOL. What else would I do? Go work on a car or something? I don't know. Enjoy your family. Go outside. Do anything but stare at this stuff 7 days a week. Because you're going to give yourself you're going to blow a tire, really. But for yourself. Whatever the equivalent of that is. But guys, thank you for almost 50 likes on today's stream. That's pretty crazy. I'm still going to be here for another hour and a half, 2 hours or so. He said play in traffic. Hey, it's not charts. Hey, I'm the guy that maintains Dem cares, praise me. Big slowdown, though. I think we can all notice that one. Don't really need to repeat it. Oh, and Daffy, if you're still here, I saw you get your yours back on RKT. I did not re-enter with you on the second one. With Jack, because I was with Jack on that one. But I'm glad you got back in that and were able to recover not just the losses, but have even more in gains, as well as kind of just. It's one of those things. It's not really about the money. It's like in sports where, like, if I see like a football player go out there and he fumbles it. Or like let me start with basketball. Football's a little bit not as like healing. But in basketball, let's say like somebody throws the ball and they drop it. Okay, whatever. Next play happens. They'll make sure like 90% of the time to get that person the ball again. So they reinstill some confidence into them and say, hey, okay, you just slipped up. It's fine. It happens. It's kind of the same thing in trading. You don't want to be a double dipper, but at the same time, you know, you want to get that win, not out of respect of like winning money or anything, but out of respect of yourself and the TA that you provided for yourself. Because a lot of the time you'll do that and you'll have like short-term invalidations and then it picks back up. And then all it took was re-entering to be right again, you know. And that right there can be a really hard barrier for people to get over in swing trading especially. So I wanted to give you a little bit of props for that. I personally don't like to double dip. But I do like to see when people do exactly what you did. You know, sticking to your TA and you're like, you know what? This closer dated contract just didn't work out. I just need to get a better contract and see if the setup picks up again. It did, then you got in. So that's something to be beyond proud of, man. That's a really big barrier for a lot of people, Daffy. So round of applause to you for that. RKT was one of the tickers that needed time, 100%. Draymond Green doesn't give confidence, he gives pimp slaps. As soon as you said Draymond Green, this is the meme I thought of. And then Katie was like, yeah. On a serious note, when I'm hanging out in the garage on the weekend, I have a chiller look going over charts. It's weird to explain, but it's easier to look in an odd way. Hey, man, I'm just saying, don't be looking at that shit all the time. You want to burn yourself out? Cool. Daffy trusts his levels and system. That's why he could do it. Daffy's a legend. Chart talks with Daffy are the best. Yeah, man, I want to join more of those when I get the course done. I've been just way too tired. I'm not even gonna lie. I every time I'm not streaming, I'm either talking to someone in chat about trading or I'm doing the course. And when I'm not doing that, I am chilling, in the very small percentile of that. So it's been a weird couple weeks for me, but I am going to be joining more of those night Daffy calls in the streams and Discord more after I'm done with the course. I just got to get this done. I still got a lot more to do too. I'm pretty much at the point where I'm kind of finishing up some of the videos for some of the sections. I'll just show you guys. You guys want to see the course? You guys want to see some shit I'm going over? Alright, so I'm not going to show you how many of what, but I'm going to show you where we are in the course. So these are the videos we have so far. I'm not going to click any further, but we have some extras in here, whether they're trading reviews from back in the day or from recent from Leland. We have videos that we've just recently made, some of which that I think are some of Leland's best work, including his outside bar video that you guys haven't seen yet. His strike selection video, it's the video I was telling you guys last week is probably going to be the best video you've ever seen. I think that video alone will make this course worth it, as well as hopefully helping people trade better, thinking about how contracts actually move, depending on their, not just positioning, but also the date of them, strike and everything. We're going to cover a little bit more in retest. Some of this stuff you guys have seen, some of it you haven't. and then some of it is really just touching up on it. And then besides this, we still have to add a couple things from like around it that aren't really like video or quiz related, and then we're gonna add quizzes for each of these sections. And they won't be big quizzes. I had a lot of feedback from the first course because there's like 800 people who have the first course or something like that. And a lot of the feedback that I got from it was positive because of the not having super in-depth quizzes. Too many times I see people come out with a course or something, and people always complain about how the quizzes were like insanely long and boring and didn't make sense because they didn't cover sections they were actually a part of. That's my mission, is to have quizzes on the end of each of these sections, but they're not going to be like 20 questions. They're going to be like 5, 3, 7 sometimes, but it's all going to be questions relating to that section, and that is it. So that's what we're going to be doing next. But we are touching up the course. We're kind of just getting everything, and then we're going to just shove it in there and then clean it up, and then hopefully it'll be good. But yeah, that is what we have ready for you guys. But I'm not joking when I say the 2 videos you need to be looking out for, and they're both from Leland, believe it or not. Out of everything in the course, I'm not joking you. I'm glad I did this with him, because I don't like doing courses with people because I like to do it all on my own. But Leland is literally my style. You know, he learned... I'm not going to sit here and be like, Leland learned every little thing he ever learned from me. But he did learn a lot from me, and then he kind of like optimized it. So it's really cool to like work with someone like that who has not just traded my system, but has maybe even traded it better than me. You know, so it's kind of cool to like be able to accept that, and then also have that person come in and help on a course and help with you guys, you know, every single day, every single week. You know, people like Daffy, D-Touch, and Leland are around every single day, regardless if I'm here or not. You know, you guys have a pretty awesome community of just a few people like that, and we're not the whole group. We're just a part of it, you know. We're just like you. We're just trying to learn and grow. But yeah, that's what we have left on the course, though. So if you guys are ready for it, it is going to be on Teachable again. I'm putting it on there because one of my friends hooked me up with like a discount code thing. So I'm going to stay on Teachable, but it's not going to be like the first course. In terms of pricing, it'll be a lot less cheaper than the first course. But these will be the only 2 you need, and I don't even know if you can do package things like that, but most people should already have the first anyway. But it'll be very, very, very cheap compared to the first one. But yeah, that's the progress update, I guess. My progress report for you guys. That's everything. But the 2 videos to look out for, again, I didn't finish saying that, is the Outside Bar by Leland, and then the Strike Selection video, which I wasn't even going to tell you all the titles of them yet, but I have to tell you, it is so damn good. I watched it a couple more times this week, and I was just madly impressed. But yeah, can't wait for you guys to get into that. And just to again reiterate, or re-explain, the second course is not for you if you have not finished the first, or at least watched Workshop 11. If you haven't even watched that, you're just way behind. You need to catch up. So catch up to some of those videos that we talked about from the Road to Consistency playlist on the YouTube channel. That is the one playlist you need to go check out if you're new here, or if you're someone who just wants to kind of get back into things, be my guest. But yeah. Got into HD calls on break and retest of 349.58. It's amazing how that looked like a bearish kicker can flip so quickly, starting to look like an OB with the positive print on the daily. Ooh, Kim! Kim, if Leland was here right now, Kim, he would give you a hug. I'm not even lying. Because we talked about that's literally what our Outside Bar video talks about, is the importance. And you'll, if you go into Discord and type Outside Bar or look for any of Leland's posts, or I've even done a couple, you'll go through there and you'll notice like Outside Bars can be very powerful. You know, if you get that lower open, it's not a horrible thing all the time. It's when you retake the previous day low, then you get the previous day close, the previous day halfway point, you get above the open, all that good stuff. When you start to retake good levels after that lower open, that's when it's a good sign that you might be witnessing an Outside Bar. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's definitely very good for a buyer opportunity or a seller opportunity, depending on the direction you're going. So, got the lower open. We even broke a new low, held. Got another small wick candle. Can't really call it a higher low because we don't know that's the low of day at that time. They pick back up. They are holding above the open, so that's a good sign. Another good sign if you go from the open or even from the low where they made their move. Oh, fib. From where they made their move to the point where they slowed down, they end up holding a good higher low, still above that day's open. And you're right. They got a really nice push. Very high probability they want to try to reach the halfway point of the previous day, the high of the previous day. Very good looks. Good looks, Kim. That was a very nice breakdown by you as well. I could instantly read your message, and I could visualize in my head what you were talking about without even going to the Home Depot chart. And then it made it easier when I did go over the Home Depot chart. Great breakdown. Mr. Shadow asked, "Do you have a release window? No pressure. I can imagine the amount of work. Just excited about it." I don't want to lie to y'all. That's why I hate giving release windows. But I could see why you would want to know. Let me look at the calendar. I can definitely finish up the touching up this weekend. If I take a day or two off next week for streaming, I could definitely knock a chunk out of some stuff. Give myself another weekend just in case there's just something not done or if I need to touch it. Because the quizzes are not going to take me long. What I do for the quizzes, I go back through the lessons myself. And I try to think of like good basic and vague questions for the first couple that I think regard to the section we're looking at. And then I try to add a couple more that are a little bit more deep than that make you think a little bit longer. And so I try to have just a couple. So those won't take me long. It's really the touching up and the thinking and the reviewing of everything that's going to take longer. It will not be out before Christmas. I hate to say that. It will not be out before Christmas. I guess my goal will be to get it out before the new year. That's going to be my mission. I want to try to get it out before January 1st. Let's do that, because I don't want to tell y'all before Christmas, and then I take my sweet time leading up to Christmas. So, let's aim for any day before January 1st, but after Christmas. So I'm going to try to release it between the 26th and the 31st. I'm going to try to release it between these two dates. That's what I'll aim for. Christmas is ruined. Not everybody here celebrates Christmas, though. Will it be a Christmas gift to us all? He said my kids are going to be disappointed. If your kids are looking forward to the BB course number 2, I will personally go buy them a different gift because that's just crazy. Christmas is ruined. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. I'm trying to be realistic, though. I don't want to sit here and lie. I don't like to sit here and be like, yeah, I'll definitely get this done. No, because I know myself. I know that I'll take a couple days to myself and not do it. But I know at the same time, though, I will probably finish before the 1st. Also, Leland got sick, so that kind of threw a chink in the chain, which I'm going to pretend that's a good excuse, but it's not. But he actually made 2 of the most impressive videos I think I've ever watched. So I really can't wait to see if he does make another one. And if he doesn't, you guys are still in store for 2 of the greatest videos I've ever seen. I cannot wait for y'all to see this. Because I think only like Daffy and like maybe a couple people have seen like bits and pieces of these 2 videos. But no one has seen like the full video besides maybe Daffy. I think Daffy and D-Touch are the only 2 we shared anything with. Oh, and then I had Fool look over the other video. Because I was like, I want a new outsider to watch this so I don't have some biased opinion. Because if I give it to one of you guys, y'all are just going to be like, yeah, it's really good, man. Just trying to be nice to me. Patience is key. These videos are on fire. Yeah, I'm not. It's going to be great. I'm also going to be happy to finish the course because then I can do more Discord streams with Daffy, as well as making more YouTube videos again for all the members and stuff. Just going over day-to-day stuff. But that was definitely fun. You can't handle the truth. What else was I going to say? I had one more thing, but I can't remember now. Oh, that was another thing, Shadow. That was one more thing. So, one more thing I was accounting for possibly not finishing it is that I promised my Lifetime group I'd go over the course with them before it was out to everybody because they all get it for free. If you're a Lifetime member, you get pretty much anything I ever release. I mean, it's not free, I guess, but you know what I mean. From then on, you know, you just get it. It's not like something you need to search out for and purchase. Like, you just get it. So, Lifetime guys, I promised them I'd do a stream with them going over the course. before it came out. So I'm going to do that too, probably around Christmas time. So I guess my lifetime guys will get a Christmas gift. No, you're good, fool. I wasn't looking for an in-depth write-up. I was honestly just looking to help you, and if you had given me a natural response to anything, that was your feedback to me. So you're good, man. You don't need to go and do all that. Because I personally know it's the best video I've ever seen, so I really don't need the feedback, but since you were asking me at that time, I was like, well, fuck it, I'll get a natural response out of somebody. Because I know that you won't just reply and be like, yeah, man, it's really good. It's really good, Bueller, sir. Leland did great. Because all my people have respect, and I know they're kind and stuff, but they're also biased, so I don't want to ask them. Meta looks good. The break of 338 could get into that next zone. Great call out by Chem Trades. Chem, you're on fire, man. I love seeing you in here each and every week, killing it like this. Your past few weeks, I could feel your growth, man. You were on it. I feel like I've said Chem Trades a lot recently when going over just clean price action like that, man. Seriously, you're doing great. Christmas is saved. I love seeing the Lifetime group work well together too. I've been slowly piecing together to get more confident over time to post in a single channel together. It's a channel I used to post trades in, and I still do. I still post trades in it. But so do other people now. It's not just me anymore. I've slowly worked other people, and not really as a signal thing. I hate doing it like that because that applies pressure to people, the people posting it and the people taking it, and then there's confusion everywhere. So we don't do it like that. We do it like, oh, Nox is posting this, he likes shorts. Cool. If I like shorts, I'll go see if I chart it and see if I like the same thing, and then I'll take it, you know, and that's really what we've been doing. And now we have it up to Jack posting, Sherman posting, Nox to posting, I'm posting, Daffy's posting, D-Touch is posting, Leland is posting. I mean, we got tons of people posting, and it's only going to get better as more people grow their confidence and start to understand how they want to go for trades. So if you're in Lifetime, check out Swing Trading TA channel. You are missing out on a lot, and it's honestly just been fun. It's not really about the gains or losses. It's been really fun. I haven't had that much fun trading in a very long time. I would say the Swing Trading TA channel has been beyond fun for me. It's been a lot of fun watching not just myself but other members succeed and seeing the growth, just seeing it, being on that journey. It's fun. Triple Q new high, but potentially rejecting. If Dividend Bull was here right now, he would say sector check, and then I'd be like, okay, man, let's go over the sectors. So let's go over the sectors real quick. So tech on fire. I think anybody can see that clear as day. That's a new all-time high, by the way. Discretionary, they're just under their previous day highs, but consolidating on a higher low, holding 179. Bullish consolidation on base materials. Staples are building up on higher lows right now after dipping lower. Comms also building off a potential higher low. A lot of these charts are above their open still. This is a very good sign for bulls short term. Good basing by the bank sector. Energy sector really just kind of slowing down after their reactive move because they kind of like pulled back heavily over the past few weeks, and then they had a nice impulse move back up. So I think you're just seeing consolidation of that impulse move. Healthcare slowed down nice today. UNH probably a big help behind that. I saw Sherman was posted. Speaking of swing trading TA, he was just talking about how Yesterday, UNH looked good for a drop, and you could see healthcare dropping even more today. Very good post by him. Potential rejection and lower high and the loss of open on the utility sector. And real estate also making a lower high from their open after making a new low of day. So you got all kinds of sectors doing different things. The re-rotation back into tech, discretionary, and comms is very real. But you still have some activity in the energy sector, the staple sector, the base material sector. So it's almost like you still have like people are bullish on the market, but they're like slightly hedging themselves while going up. So it's like you're not just seeing tech get bought up. You're not just seeing you're seeing staples, base, comp. You're seeing a couple things get bought up. So I'm really not surprised by that one. It's like you're seeing hesitant sector rotation, but not really. That makes sense. That's just how my brain works. I'm sorry if none of that made sense. Oh, that was my neck. That felt good. Staying cash today? That sounds smart to me. There will definitely be some opportunity. Like, I still like bulls into the 471s, but, I mean, definitely not bullying yourself if you don't trade today. It's totally fine if you just relax. Bevo? Also staying cash. I mental traded this morning and botched it. See, that's pretty mature of you, though, to admit. Like, I feel like some people would be like, they would lie in that scenario, Dan, what you just said. They would lie. They'd be like, I was going to stay cash, but then I took a real trade, and then it just kind of hit my stop loss, and I'm chilling now. Like, people would lie and be like, I was really trading. Where you were like, I mentally traded, and I still messed up. Like, I feel like that's such a cool thing to admit, because, like, I don't know, it shows you're human, like it shows you're normal, it shows you're trying, it shows you're on the right path, you know, whereas somebody who's not looking to accept mistakes or to accept, you know, to accept being wrong, you know, those people are never going to grow, those people are never going to learn, they're going to stay in their little box and they're never going to go anywhere. So that's huge what you just said, even though it might not feel like it, you know, right now it might not feel like you're doing anything special, but you are. Let's go, Peoples. I love hearing your progression. I don't know if he's still here or not, but good job, Peoples. Round of applause to Jay. Both of our Jays are doing great. Peoples and Hidden Land. Weird open today. I've been in and out of these past 2 weeks, so I wasn't too confident in taking a real trade. Thanks, B. No problem, boss. Thank you for sharing with us. I feel like it's a good thing for you to get off your chest as well as others like us to hear it so we can all learn from it. Like, oh, damn, hesitancy there? Why? Try to understand it. Oh, okay. Makes sense to me. Try to keep it logical. It's funny, like, a lot of the time you try to break it down further and try to make things too complex. That's when it starts to not make sense. You know, really keep it vague, short, and sweet. And that's why I try to give you guys positive reinforcement when I see you guys talking about, like, your updates. Like, a couple of you guys today said so much in such a little amount of time. Like, in, like, 2 sentences, someone will be like, we're breaking pre-market high. Look towards previous day high. If we do this and this, this, and this. And it's like 1 sentence was typed out, but so much information was just said. Like, they just almost gave you a trade plan. You know, so it's good to keep yourself out there. You gotta have one of the more satisfying sounding net cracks. Oh, yeah, that's true. Battle going on around current day open. David Q is correct. Wait, what are you looking at? You looking at SPY or Triple Q? Ooh, guys, Triple Q's finally trying to push higher. Let's keep an eye on that. Somebody go in chat and say finally. I go into chat and see Voldemort and a Head and Shoulders commercial. the SPY. Ace said finally. Yeah, finally some movement. We got a new high and then a possible green print following. So if we can get that green close, that'd be a great sign buyers are trying. Go to SPY. This could definitely feel a lot better for this chart because we have a lot of higher lows, but it's definitely been very on the grind up. It's been meh. And be sure to drop a like on the stream, guys. We are almost over 50 likes. Every time I see Daffy's profile pic, it's throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie. 50th. You're like creator, but last. You're like, I'm first, but I'm 50th. Ooh. Wait, why am I marking that? Oh, Thursday low. Okay, okay. Thursday low, open, high, mark that. That looks pretty good for a short setup if it continues to reject 150s. I say 150s, but it's really like, yeah, 150s. God. The bond charts look crazy. Bonds are up, dollars down, SPY is sideways. Small caps are slightly down from previous day, forming an inside candle. It's very notable. Possible reversal candle on CLF on the daily. PayPal holding 61s as support. That actually looks good for a continued bullish retracement, but that's going to be very slow. I could see it taking its sweet time, holding 60, then popping, then holding 64, slowly, then pop. It's going to be very slow on that one. Boeing just continues to keep ripping. Rest in peace to Boeing shorts this year. They are at an absolute loss. Nothing new yet. By the way, are there any tickers that are not on this list that you would like to see me look at more? For the most part, I go through most of these on the smaller time frames, and then the rest of these I try to go over on the daily for like swing trade analysis and stuff like that. But are there any tickers that are not here on this side that you would like to see added? Oh yeah, the AI. I mean, I'm not going to read your comment out loud, but the AI voices are actually getting pretty crazy. I'm not going to say how I know about this, but they got into like music, right? And there's a couple of artists they copied, but they all sounded pretty bad. You could pretty instantly tell the distinct difference between the real person and the AI. Not just the lyrics, but how it sounded. But over time, it's been over a year now since that happened. They have gotten better, and all of the AI songs that are coming out now actually could end up getting sued by actual artists because of how close they sound to these people, as well as how close they actually sound to the artist, like in how they, the mannerisms and how they rap and the different things they may say. But the AI voicing is kind of crazy. But also on the other side of things, like it's kind of becoming big on like a political front too. Like you guys literally saw like a 2-day old video of like Vladimir Putin, and it was an old recording. Now imagine if AI had done that. They did that with like our president. They're like, look, he's doing this or talking about this. Like that could be pretty detrimental. So honestly, the AI voice thing is kind of crazy. The dollar's down, so SPY's going up. Let's see briefing and read it again. I'm just going to post what I have here for everybody. Oh, my bad, Daffy. You posted that like right at the same time I sent that. My bad, man. I would not have done that. So, moving the market today. Huge quarterly options and futures expirations today. You have, I think it's double or triple witching today. And then you have relative strength in some mega cap stocks. Sense that the market is overbought on a short-term basis. And the New York Fed President Williams, a FOMC voter, told CNBC that rate cuts are not topic of discussions at the FOMC. Sorry, my dog's like losing her mind. Oh, that's why there's someone at the door. Hold up. Alright. I'm alive. Nobody robbed me. Damn, I left y'all looking at Roku this whole time? Rest in peace. Let's go back to this. Oh, nothing happened. Y'all didn't miss anything anyway. Woof SPX put 32%. I like how you say woof. Woof woof. Good stuff. Mel, 32%. I saw your gains the other day as well, Mel. Thanks, sir. That was a nice day. It was a nice day for you, wasn't it? I tweeted a couple of y'all. I tweeted Daffy, D-Touch, Rambo, Mel. Talked about Kai and Jay in the tweet because I saw good updates. I saw good gains. I saw good posts, good updates. Like, it wasn't just like, ooh, everybody's got big gains. Like, no, there was a lot of just good updates in general. I thought that was awesome. I'm tired of switching this chart. Let's just clear this one and we'll chart it. Nope, not the weekly. The daily. You're telling me all that Bueller guy does is add the close of every green candle? Oh, there's no one there. So what I'm gonna do here is this. It's all-time high. Click. There you go. There we go. Now we never have to switch over. I keep doing that. Probably need a halfway point between there somewhere. Don't look too bad. Nice little rally. Came down, made a new low. So we have, at least we have established ranges because they did break pretty good levels here. So at least we know what to look out for now. Same thing for the upside. 4740s. Pretty much 47 to 4740s is what we're looking at for SPX. Were you at the barber shop? If you saw my hair, you'd probably say I do need to go to the barber shop. Oh, yo, Jack, check trade floor. I gotta test. Is that a halfway point? I'm gonna lose my mind if it is. Okay, it's not, but it's close. If you hear a lawnmower, it's because there's a lawnmower outside my door. God, they're so loud. Burke B looks really good. Got some higher lows holding demand. That's the main reason I'm looking at that is because they're a big XLF weight. If you go to XLF, yeah. If you go to XLF and then hit Analyze tab, you can see the top weights. Burke B being 12.5%, by far the heaviest weight in this sector. Followed behind that is JP Morgan, of course. Wait, no, I don't want to mess up my stuff. Let's just do what I did on the other one. And see the big difference between these? You got one all-time high up here, comes down, and this is kind of where it's at now. Holding off of a potential higher low, maybe a second one here, building back up over a couple day period. But then you go to JPM and it's like, what the hell? They're almost at all-time high. Let's mark all-time high supply. That's how close they are to all-time high. Here's recent supply turn demand. Where am I at? Here we are. This would be a good invalidation point for sellers. Or buyers, I mean. That might just keep going to 171. Let's go see what's in between here on the far left side. Yeah, because they rejected the all-time high supply once, twice, three, lower high, lower high, lower high. Huge reaction with earnings and dividend, of course. It's almost like we're stuck in between that as well. That one doesn't look too bad. What do y'all think about that one? Yo, high key, we need to start saving our zones to color like this all the time. That is clean looking. Save as default. And yep, cost new all-time highs today again. We've seen new all-time highs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the last 7 days. We've seen a new all-time high on Costco. That's the all-time high supply on the 5-minute. And it's not really supply, it's just how you would market with the rules. There's definitely still buyers present here. Whenever new all-time highs are made, I try to make it easy for myself. And I think too many people overthink this, but you should just aim for psychological levels. Like, if I see this breaking... What did it break initially? I probably said it when it happened, but I probably said 650. I don't think I'd say anything past this, because this is crazy, but you have to almost assume 675, 700 now. Which I know is crazy to say out loud, but that's very possible. It's a pretty cool website, by the way. I'm not really a fan of, like, all of his opinions on every little thing. I'll show you who this is. So, this is Meet Kevin. I'm not really a fan of, like, some of his opinions on some companies, but I genuinely don't care about that, though. Like, you shouldn't follow someone just because you agree with everything they say, you know? And I kind of respect this guy because he sticks to his guns, so I do give him props to that. And he's actually like licensed in every sense. Very, very funny guy too. If you want to follow him, you can. He's pretty funny. He does not follow me back. He's the only like bigger dude who doesn't, but it's okay. You go over to his website though, and the whole advertisement behind this website is that there's no clickbait. So, and it's because you actually can't click anything. There's no ads. I can't actually click a single thing on the screen. It's just highlighting. So it's pretty cool that you can read all this stuff, and he'll be like, hey, look, I'm in this. So this is a page I've been looking at more recently because of this website he released, and I thought it was cool because, again, like I like to look at non-biased information. So if I can look at this from him, it's like, damn, awesome. So it's just extra information. We kind of already look at a lot of this stuff too, but it's just cool to hear it a second time, just get that assurance of like, hey, you are looking at the right stuff. Plus there's extra news on here. But he's actually short Costco, I believe. Yeah, Costco's deflation. That's why I was bringing this up. This morning he actually posted this, and I thought it was interesting, which I do not agree with this post right now. If he was to say this, and this had already hit like 700 and started consolidating, and then we saw like a break of that structure, and then like price just consolidated more, and the rest of the market did pull back and like just kind of range trade, I would agree with this statement from a technical point of view, because then it would make sense. But fundamentals and technicals are almost never going to line up all the time. Like, just because Costco is bullish but has some bearish stuff in their fundamentals does not make them bearish on their chart, right? People aren't going to pay attention to it as much. And actually, if you look at this daily candle, that's probably the largest bullish kicker I've seen in a very long time. I almost couldn't speak English there for a second. I was losing my mind. But that's a pretty large damn candle for a bullish kicker, so pretty interesting. But I was just bringing that up to point that out because I honestly do kind of like this website a little bit. It's just ehack.com. That's all you type. Super easy. But a bunch of really cool information. So if you want to check that out too, I'm actually going to save it. Pretty easy to remember though. Yeah, scary to buy shares at this price. But I know people like Daffy and Jack have been destroying this chart with options on the way up. So pretty cool too, because this was like that main chart. I never draw lines like this, by the way, guys. When we drew this, it was like back here. When I haven't drawn blue zones in forever, but we were going over this because we were saying if you are looking at a potential downtrend break, the areas to look at are the old resistance points, the old supplies from these points, which we can redraw this if y'all want. I will do this one. So like thinking the same process, like seeing this like line and then seeing it break over time, like what highs should we be looking at? You should be looking at these highs, kind of like we drew in that other picture, but you don't want to necessarily draw those lines. That was just for our example. But you have the all-time high to the last open, the last green candle before the reversal back down, because you're going to be aiming for all these peaks, right? So we got that peak, kind of got one here. And it was almost surpassed right here, but look at that. If you go from the high of that candle to the open of it, because that's the reversal, the supply, it got rejected here. And you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again, though. Kind of got one here. That got used later on, right here. Got another one here. I'm not going to include the whole candle, though. And that's it. So, kind of focusing on the highs from that downtrend before the break. You got the break, you got the true break here, right? So you're looking for retakes at those peaks. This is how you look at a downtrend breakup, right? This is how you get back to where we are on the chart now, which I'm never going to sit here and tell you, yeah, you should have known to buy here and sell here, dummy. How'd you not know that? No, you should not have known that. You should never be aiming for that. But necessarily, in a chart, from a technical point of view, once you break your downtrend, and this is for every time frame. I'm just using this on the daily because Costco is an amazing example. But these are the areas you need to see be retaken. This area here first, then that supply, then that supply, then that supply. You know, you're looking at just the peaks from inside the downtrend before it happened. Then once it breaks, you're looking at higher lows to be made or base to be built at these areas to show you in the future that it does want to try to move up. And if you get the opposite, well, then you know it's not trying to move up, it's trying to slow down. Which you actually saw, it actually did kind of do both. You can see there was a high made, and this is the point I'm making on SPY. Everyone's like, how do you know when to go short? And I've said this 100 times on the way up. It's just never, it hasn't happened yet. But you're looking for a, let's get a drawing thing here. You're looking for a high to be made at any point. We don't know when that's going to happen. That could be now, it could have been the other day, could it be tomorrow, could be next week. We have no idea, right? Well, tomorrow would be Saturday. But let's say we finally hit our high, right? And then you get a pullback. Whatever. We don't know where that's going to go. We have no way of calculating that. That's not, we know no information here, right? What we are looking for would be a lower high. And if we can get that and then a break of a good fib from this high to this low, then we're looking great. We're looking great for a pullback. But that hasn't happened yet. We keep getting this high and then the pullback, and we never get the lower high. It just keeps holding the base right here. You never get the break of this area. So it ends up never giving you that downtrend. It ends up holding. I am amazing at drawing X's. It ends up holding and then builds higher lows, and this is what everyone else gets chopped up into because they're stuck in the mindset of, oh, we were falling through the floor, lower high. They're forgetting the fact that we just invalidated all of that and we're building higher lows now. And that's what ends up happening the past few months, really. That's happened multiple times now. So that's what you need to be looking out for. Oh my god. But that's what we're looking at here with costs. You know, you're kind of seeing the same thing here. Like, you're seeing it break into it, hold, push up, build a higher low, break up. And yes, it did have a nice breakdown structure here, but after a lot of rallying, and then they came down and held another higher low, another higher low, another higher low, another higher low. And it's just crazy seeing the trend play out over time, and then how hard it would be to get into a new trade because of your past bias. So if you were sitting in the mindset of like, oh no, we're going to reject here, we made a lower high, it has to keep breaking this support, but then it doesn't break the next area of demand, then it's like, well, you know, is it bearish? What you saw is bulls take over, hold as demand, get some room. They failed to push higher. That's going to happen naturally over time. And then even though they had lost support and lost structure and had very nice bearish validations pop up, they failed to break what was turned into demand. This wasn't turned into demand yet. It was just broken above. This was held as demand. That's not supply anymore. So when they come down here, you shouldn't still be looking for bear setups. I mean, you can, but you need to see a break and a retest or any kind of lower high, right? You end up getting a nice hold of that area. They build up with an inside candle, positive print, another inside, positive print, reset candle, reset candle. We know that because they're holding support. They're still holding the old area where we literally just said they didn't hold through it yet. They just pushed through it. Look where they're holding through now. Look where they're holding, turning it into demand, allowing future opportunity to be made at that low, making it impossible for new traders to get in because it's a sharp higher low rise up. But this is because why? It took that much time. Hopefully that was interesting for anybody here trying to read trend better. This is, again, information. Jesus. This is information that can be used for all time frames. This is not just the daily. It's just really easy to go over the daily because, again, a lot larger candles, a lot more time going by. And then, of course, Costco, because it's a really good example. But, yeah, new all-time high, though. Costco, good call out. Daffy saying that might be coming in. Forever bullish on cost. I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to look at that chart. It's Friday. I want to chill on the single screen. Is there anything anybody wants me to look at? I'm full of energy and happy to go over whatever you guys want to look at. And SPY is just kind of holding bullish, but it's slow, so you might not get a move anytime soon, but any time today, as long as it's still holding, you could get a move that pops back up today just because of the amount of time we've held above this, as well as the amount of higher lows that we have holding above it. Thank you, David. What time frame, VC? Make sure when you guys say the ticker to say the time frame. It is impossible for me to know what you want me to look at if you don't tell me the time frame. Because if you don't tell me, I'll just end up covering it all, and I don't need to be sitting here covering every single thing about every single chart. Triple Q weekly. Wow, interesting request. I might have to go to a different chart for you. Yeah, we'll go to the monthly for you. So these are levels I grabbed from the monthly, and then I grabbed supply and demand from the weekly. I have not touched this chart in a very long time. I have not used blue zones in a very long time. I've changed colors probably 3 times since blue. So This is a while ago. I haven't had to touch the triple Q monthly levels in a very long time. But as you can see here on the weekly, though, very scary moment here. You can see towards the end of October, starting to break structure as well as making a new low out of an area that tried to hold as support, was definitely supply. It was demand turned supply, so we have to see it that way until proven otherwise. We saw a good hold, fail, and then they retook it here. So this has still not been reclaimed as control of support. So in the future, that could be tested. I'm not saying it's doing that anytime soon. This could still rip. But I am saying if you end up getting any slowdown, this is most likely where they want to test. And if not, then this is most likely where they want to test. This high right here. Since they only hold it short term. So you need to look for here or here if you ever get that slowdown. So don't turn bearish yet. You don't have any indication yet. But this looks like it wants to just keep ripping to possibly make a new all-time high. Because this would be... Yep. If you guys see this candle close like this week, can anybody tell me what this candle will be? It's not a candlestick pattern. Just it's a piece of data on the chart. Can anybody tell me what would this candle do if it closed like this? I want to see if somebody sees it before I just give it away. What is this candle doing? If it was to close here, what would that be? I know, I got a lot of annoying yellow lines on here now. Soldier. No, remember, I'm not looking for a candlestick pattern. Just a piece of data off the screen. What do you see with today's weekly candle, this week's weekly candle? If it was to close like this, what would that give us? It's not a new all-time high, but it is an all-time high what? It's a boom boom candle. Setting another level. Yes, you're kind of on it, SF. You're pretty much on the other side of what I was trying to say, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This would be the highest close this chart has ever had. Remember, this is the opening of a red candle. Right? That's not the close. The close is way down here. The close of this candle is right here. So if we were to close above 403.99, this would be the highest close the triple Qs have ever had on a weekly time frame chart. Ever in the history of ever. Right? Setting us up for a very good potential rally through all-time highs the following week. So that's pretty cool, right? Exactly, Michael, you got it. It'd be the all-time high close. So it wouldn't be an all-time high, but it would be the next best thing. It'd be the meatiest part of the chart we've ever seen closed on. We've never seen the chart close like this. So that's just interesting, and I wouldn't necessarily take anything away from it, but that kind of gives me like a little bit of extra bullishness, you know, in that the following week. So if we see like just a flat open or a higher open, we're looking good. If we see a lower open, we need to see where are we going to try to hold. If 404 is still holding on the weekly, that could be a very good indication on the smaller time frames that we are trying to hold, build base there, and then try to bust through those new all-time highs. So if we don't get that just new all-time high instantly out the gate next week, you might get it after a little bit of retesting. And also on the weekly time frame, remember what we talked about. Just like on Costco, we didn't ever get any retests of certain areas until we got a breakdown. You end up getting a breakdown here. We still don't have a retest of this zone that's supposed to be trying to hold as demand. Remember, demand, broke, supply, still supply, still supply. Okay, we pushed above it. Can we hold it? Nope, nope, nope. Push through it. So I guess you could say it was short-term held, but still looking for a higher low there. So you still have possibilities of retesting the near-term future as well. And I'm not saying anytime soon. I'm just saying you have to look out for that in the future, especially if we push higher. So just kind of think about everything while you're looking at that. But good request. Triple Q Weekly. What was the next one? Low on the daily, Jack, I'm assuming. Holy. Okay, well, we can delete this fib. That's completely not... I haven't looked at this chart in a minute, it looks like. So they broke their bearish engulfing. I mean, not a bearish engulfing, but pretty damn close. Brought us down. Rejection of 203.89. Good hold of 203.89. And just for interest, if you go from the level that we broke above to the slowdown, okay, they held a good midterm retest. Good push. And from the midterm retest, they have made it to the next area of supply. There's also a small gap range here, which I hate marking these all the time because it like throws people off. Like, oh my god, do I play this or the zone? Like, which one do I do? It's like you play both. it's in order. But it looks like they would be looking to fill the gap, which you might want to move that up to that day's close because that's a kicker candle that appeared, not just a gap down. Interesting though. So it looks like from that fib, let's remove that fib. Let's go from the high here to, well, we can't really draw this yet because we don't have a slowdown yet. If this was the reverse, then I could say draw your fib here and say look for a retest here. If it breaks here, look for a pullback all the way to 209s, 210s-ish. But you don't have a slowdown yet. We just have an indecisive candle. So I can't necessarily draw that fib yet. But that would be the next move. New trader, you can't really find anything here yet till you see some more information pop up. Nice chart, though. I like how this, like, lines up. I'm going to assume these are the same system. Yeah, monthly levels, halfway point here and there. Yeah, weekly demand, supply, broke through, supply, held through as demand, breaking through again. So this place is just all kinds of crazy for active trading. But yeah, same system. Monthly emerging, weekly zones. All right, cool. All right, so we got triple Q weekly out of the way. We got low daily out of the way. SF said V is another one with all-time high. Oh, yeah, they just hit all-time high yesterday. Wow. They opened at it. Wait. Yeah, they did. I drew that because that's kind of like where we pushed up, held as a low, and then top of that candle beat a nice area as a bullish reversal point, and then they held it as a higher low, pushed away from it. It just took its sweet time doing it, but really nice move. This chart's weird. You got like that higher open pullback, and you got like the lower open push. This chart's all kind of like pulling, tugging everywhere. IPO was a long time ago. You're talking about this chart? Yeah, this is Visa. Are you messing with me, Aloha? Oh, you're not messing with me. Okay. Alright, who's next? No, I like Visa. Why do I feel like you're trying to trap me, Ace? He said... Oh, no, he said ATHC. Never mind. He was saying all-time high close. I thought he was trying to say a ticker, and then I was like, is this like some crypto I don't know about? MMM Chief, daily versus weekly charts. What the hell is I doing here? I got an arrow here. We'll just delete that. I don't know what the hell I was doing. Alright, so let me redraw this so I get my head back in it. I'm doing this so I can see the daily real quick. And then I'll do the weekly, like on a naked chart or something. A lot of levels here. I think I'm starting to find a problem with that colored zone. I can't see the damn thing now. I'm used to only typing one number and then deleting. Gotta type two now. Aggressive push, but then they got an aggressive hold here at 100. So I was gonna say it's kind of propped up, but there's actually a lot of consolidation here. I'd be very bullish as long as it's holding 104. Just because it had this push up to this level, then it held that same one it pushed above. And you also kind of have that support there too with the meat of everything. That's very clean. So I guess if the 104 breaks, you could look to 102, 100 before seeing any actual bearish invalidations breaking structure. So at least you know where that's going to pop in. But yeah, no, this looks good for continuation. But be on the lookout for short-term retests. But no, it does look good towards 110.30s, I'm not going to lie. That consolidation right there was kind of confusing at first because you look at it and you're like, here, let's break it down. You look at it first and you just see this like propped up move, and then you see it kind of hold an inside candle. At this moment, people are probably scared and turning bearish. Again here, again here, again here. And then this candle happens. That probably turned a lot of people bearish back into bulls just because of the trap. So that's probably what you're seeing as like an impulse move is this. And I think that's kind of what the whole market is doing right now. So it's not really fair to say just MMM is doing that. But there's a lot of charts doing this like impulse type move because of these big dips that happen where a lot of people probably got trapped. A lot of big money probably got trapped too, liquidation. But getting also good moves to the upside. So, I mean, I just want to say to all these charts that there is a lot more probability they keep going up higher, but I don't want to tell everybody that they're going to go to like crazy levels. Like, so I really would just target whatever your next levels are on a lot of these charts. But also keeping in mind of the short-term retest and where would those come in at, not just, oh, where's the retest coming at? Like, when is it coming? Like, no, actually mark on your chart, where is it going to go? If it has to slow down and retest somewhere from here, where would that be? You know, mark that out. That's what I kind of see on the daily. Let's go to the weekly again. I just drew the same chart twice. And yeah, the weekly's kind of giving me the same vibe. Like, massive bullish move. You're definitely bullish on this, but you have to kind of keep in the back of your mind, like, this probably does want to retest at some point in the future just to consolidate a little bit. But if it does keep skyrocketing, I was saying 110. It looks like you do have 113 in the way, too. Massive recovery, though. Almost an outside bar on that, but you have an inside bar, red print that doesn't break. So this is like, this is kind of cool looking, actually. So you have a inside candle where this candle trades within that candle after multiple gap downs, multiple pullbacks. And yes, you do get short-term confirmation bears are in control inside of the range, but then they don't close outside of that. Let's see exactly how close that was. 86.33, 86.39. So by 6 cents, they made people think that that was going to keep going. And then also with the lower open the next day, probably getting some opportunity to get out of that chart, but not much opportunity at all. Holding as a pin bar, and then you end up getting a nice move that does what? That this couldn't do. Closed outside of the initial inside candle. So a very ugly but very logical reversal from MMM on the weekly time frame. It looks like from there it's just been uppity up for them. Yeah, they have not had a single red week since then. Isn't that pretty cool though, how the inside candle there inside of that day ended up working, and though you got short-term confirmation within the range, 6 cents could have screwed you. So not saying you would have bought on this or you would have bought on this, but it definitely would have given you more confirmation to buy on this candle or even this candle, knowing this and knowing this. You know, just knowing everything together, telling the story in a row. But nice one on that. I like that. I like that breakdown. But the weekly, though, that was kind of fun to go over. So, yeah. All right, what's next? X. That's US Steel on the weekly. You're actually in luck. I actually kind of like looking at X. I've actually been looking at CLF because this is who's getting a lot of attention. These are the people that are buying X, by the way. X is getting bought out. So just be careful with all that stuff, but let's look at it. Which kind of makes me want to just look at CLF, to be honest with you, because I don't look at X. Recently, we took a play from here through this day, and we were done. And since then, they've made one nice pullback. They ended up holding that bullish move, and then got another insane move. So looking for kind of a similar opportunity to what happened here and here, but we want to see it happen here. So that's kind of what I'm looking on CLF, which is the exact same sector of what you're looking at. But I'm just not really a big fan of trading X, to be honest with you. Shan knows. I knew somebody in here would have something to say about it. But I like looking at those, but CLF is in the process of potentially buying out X. So just keep that in mind. Which I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but that would make them the primary, which I think they already are, but that would make them the primary steel production here, which is massive. MCD. Thank you, Sandollar. Taking me extended lunch break now. MCD? Yeah, we can look at MCD. You want the daily, Jack? How my brain works chart. Y'all need to abuse this tab here. I mean, you see how many different charts I end up having on it just to kind of keep myself in it. Sometimes they're from really old, long times ago. Sometimes just to rechart things to kind of get myself re-updated on what I was looking at previously. But it's really good. Got a crow pattern here against supply, which doesn't mean it has to continue pulling back, but it gives a good probability, and they hit the next level now. So we're either looking for buyers to continue holding McDonald's above 286 for a short-term buy reaction, which could turn into one of two things: a lower high that turns into another bearish move that could break structure, or we see them break this and get past and continue to surpass highs. So something you want to look at is really, one, this move here, the low to this high, and see if that fib hold. But also kind of the other end, the fib from that high to that low, if this structure does break in the future. So not now, but if this ever does break, draw this fib here, because that'd be interesting to see the first move's fib, to see did everything reject that. But 286 is definitely the pivot point for that chart, kind of mixed in with a little bit of the support from here. I'm not going to include this fib, because this is how I would normally draw it. I'm going to include kind of the low of everything here, the meat of it all. So yeah, 286 to, what is this? 285. So about $1 range. But yeah, McDonald's is pretty bullish. It's probably going to break 300 in the near term. But also depends on the market. If everything else starts slowing down at the same time, there's no reason that this still can't go to all-time high, but it definitely lowers the chances a little bit. That's what I got on McDonald's, though. I look at that chart a lot, so it's pretty easy for me to look at it. I like McDonald's. Their food sucks, but let's be honest, that company is insane. Good request. Everything that was requested, honestly, was pretty nice. And some of what I just went over will be in that second course as well. As you guys saw from that sneak peek, there is a swing trading part of the course I'm going to be going over myself. Really just the mechanics and methodology of everything, like what we're looking at, how to think about things, the order of everything, you know, just everything, really. In the very first video, I think I just straight up start talking about contracts and what to grab and in what situations to grab what, just because I know that's a huge topic that a lot of people don't like to think about. But I talk about contracts at the very beginning of the first video. Is first part of the course out? Of the second course? No, there's no part of the second course out yet. We just did a sneak peek. I was showing people like the library of videos I had saved up, but I wasn't showing them everything. And then we just kind of talked about some stuff. So you can go back and stream and check it out. I don't think it was right before I started doing swing trade breakdowns. But no, there's no part of the course out. It'll all come out as a whole. And then we talked about a timeline because Mr. Shadow had asked me when can we expect it. So kind of went over a timeline after that as well, when to expect it. How about DE popped off nicely lately? Oh, my arm. Why isn't DE on my watch list? Oh, it is. I'm blind. I think I actually looked and talked about John Deere earlier, because I talk about this just off natural habit. But it did hit the next level at 393 yesterday, pushed through it a little bit, then wicked back down, and now today you have an inside candle, so might be able to just erase everything. This is how I like to do this when I find one. Oh my god, they're right next to my window. Like, bro, it's grass. What are you blowing? And then what I do with this is I extend the outer levels. I go to the max daily. And then I draw emerging candles around those levels. So I do a couple leading up to the bottom one. So that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And probably this, because there needs to be a halfway point there. Remove. And then go above that level and find more emerging candles above it. So as soon as you see one, draw it. Oh, one there. One there, one there, one there, one there. And then since we don't really have one close, let's go from this level to that emerging candle and add a halfway point. And it's pretty close to 400, so we're probably going to have that marked in our head anyway. Go back to that daily, just kind of reconfirm everything set there. And if you want to left extension those, you can. And then what I like to do is I like to color the top two green, just to kind of remind myself, hey, looking for longs here. Long opportunity. Possible short opportunity for red. If you want to make them all yellow, be my guest. That's also an okay method. But just to remind yourself that it's different from the rest. Then when you're on the smaller time frames. Now, I don't know if I'd day trade John Deere, but this is how you could look at it for a day trade on a different chart. But you'd look for a break of 382.45, first target 380.14, second target 379.26. And honestly, in this scenario, I would just combine these two levels and say, hey, this can be your first target area after you break 382.45 or previous day low, well, today's low. And then under that, that's when you can look for more trades because you got a gap there. You have more levels that are very well spaced out there. And same thing for the upper side. If you end up breaking 387.82, that needs to be your first target. But if there's something else logical in between that, mark it, right? So we can see we had a previous day close here. So it looks like we need to, kind of like here, we need to combine not a target area, but a breakout area. Could make this a target. Could make this a target. Make it logical. But that's John Deere. Go back to SPY if we want. Chill on some requests for a bit. Thank you guys, though, for requesting different things so we could look at different stuff. It's just nice and refreshing to look at different parts of the market and talk about structure, too. I like talking about the mechanics and methodology of, like, this needs to happen before this, or, you know, talking about if this, then that scenario, setting up conditional formats for yourself. Looks like my boy Mel's looking for more bearish continuation, possibly, based on the 15 and 30 minute, which they are kind of curling that way. It's just hesitant because everybody's still holding the previous day low on SPY. Triple Q is also slowing down. Oh, which we can fix that chart now. Which this would add on to SPY's slowdown, so. Oh, nice, Sanddollar. Thank you for posting and also tagging me. Let's go, Daffy. Daffy closed Costco for 92%. Whew. Oh, Mel is loving this. Mel is loving this. Mel, percentage update. I need a percentage update, Mel. Good job, though, Mel. That's what we talked about. Small, quick ones. Because remember, 31% is not small. It just feels small because when you're not using like $1,000 on a trade, it's not going to be $300, right? Or if you used 1,000, it would be 300. But you know what I'm saying. If you're using like 200-300, it's not going to be as much as you would think. But you know, and I know just as well that when you stack those up, it does very well. And when you do get to the point when we can raise our account more, like we talked about before, like you said at the beginning of the year, you're going to raise it up a little bit. Great. Because you've maintained discipline over the past few months doing the same thing over and over again. You're allowed to take that step up when the new year starts, Mel. I'm proud of you. You've probably been one of the very few people who have been able to like learn that and then apply it that quick. Again, because I mean, it's hard for everybody, including me, Leland, Daffy, D-Touch, everybody. It's hard to apply what you learn, right? And you're doing it very fast. And I'm very proud of you also for being open about it because, well, at least with me, I don't know about everybody else, but with me, you have been, because he's been going with like really big size, then we pulled back his account size, but he's been taking the same and badass trades, and he's just kind of been like taking a staircase up, and he's been building a lot of step 1, step 2 stuff. At the beginning of the year, he's going to raise it up a little bit. You're going to use more contracts, or your account's going to be bigger. It's either or, but either or, it's going to be helping him a lot because those 30% trades will start to pay a lot more, and it's just off of doing the same thing. It's just by sticking to the methodology of the mechanics of what you're doing. Like, oh, it broke this, take profit, here's my stop loss. Doing that over and over again, not realizing, oh, that's $100, that's $300, that's $400. Like, not putting that in your head. By keeping it a technical game, it keeps it that way. It keeps you like a computer following parameters, having invalidations, having a target, having a plan beforehand. Like, all that, that's what's helping Mel the most. And that's, like, everyone, like, freaks out and goes, like, oh my god, he's so good. Like, yeah, he is, because he's so damn disciplined. It's not because he's throwing around a bunch of money. It's because he's disciplined. That's what makes him a badass. One con all day. You see him saying it? Like, and that's all we did. We just pulled Mel back. He listened. He did it. And guess what? After a few months now, at the beginning of the new year, he's going to be increasing his contract sizes. And he's going to do the same thing over and over again, except instead of having 1 contract, he'll have 3. He'll take 2 of them off the table very quick with those 15, 20, 30% gains we talk about. And then he's going to see what's that last contract going to do. He's going to lower his stop loss, probably take 10, 5% on it if it goes back up against him. But if it ends up going for him, that's an extra cherry on top. With an already cherry on top, because he already had the second contract taken profit, which he doesn't normally do. So he's going to be increasing how much he's making, doing the same damn thing over and over again. But only because he's taken time for multiple months now to build up those first couple steps of like, all right, let me see what kind of trades I want to go for. Let me take 1 contract at a time. Doing that for months at a time. It's like his own little staircase method. It's building him up over time. Not just confidence, not just knowledge of his system and how he wants to trade the chart, but also of how he's earning his money, how he's getting paid. How much he's winning, how much he's losing. Fuck off, we don't want to update Smite. No problem, Mel. I'm proud of you, man, because, like, you have no clue. And, like, I don't take this the wrong way. Like, when people, like, take that advice and take the staircase method, I think they think, like, oh, this guy must think he's some hot shit or something, like, to think he can just tell me this advice and expect me to take it, and I'm not gonna sit here and do the same thing for months at a time. Like, that's just way too long. He just wants me to waste my time. Like, and it's not about that. Like, it really is about time, because, like, as a person, it takes forever for some of these things to actually settle in your head. So it takes months of time to get, like, step 1 down, you know, and if step 1 is just drawing the levels, and then seeing the different types of entries, awesome. Taking mental reps, awesome. That's all step 1. But that's a step that's going to take you months and months and months of time, sometimes years. You know, it's not about getting into a live account and trading as many contracts as you can. Like, it really is about developing the system, following it, and not just understanding it and all that, but being comfortable with it, getting used to it, you know, being able to see the ins and outs of everything and understanding when you should cut at a more optimal time and stuff like that. These are things you learn over time and experience. So it takes time. So this is why you take these steps seriously. Step 2, you know, getting into your live, getting into taking 1 contract trades as much as you possibly can, and just being really good at getting into the trade and getting to your first target or selling at your stop loss, wherever that may be, you know, whatever it is. And then just doing that over and over and over again. And that's kind of the step Mel is going to be leaving. He's going to be leaving step 2 kind of into step 3, having more contracts, trying to do the same thing over and over again, seeing if he can truly increase his size. And guess what? If Mel ends up making mistakes or ends up oversizing or ends up making big mistakes and has to restart again, he's not going to be restarting. He'll be going back to step 2, not to step 1, not to restarting and blowing up his account. He'll go down to step 2, going back to single contract trades until he becomes comfortable again, then he can move back up to multiple cons. You see how it's like a step in, step out thing? It's like if the water's too cold, you test it, and it's like, all right, I'll get in. You kind of just slowly get in, or if it's too hot, it's the same exact thing. Another one, 18%. 125% on the day. Killing it, Mel. But I hope that makes sense to everybody. If something there did make sense with the staircase method and the steps, and that's just kind of how like my brain works. But like that's all I've ever given anybody in the chat. And Mel is just honestly, seriously, one of the most impressive people at doing it because he's not just learned it, but has started applying it so fast. And then also like I don't think I'm so used to people like taking that advice and then actually doing it, like actually taking one contract every single trade they take. Sometimes, you know, we think we get antsy and we try to justify random things, but it's wrong. You know, when you justify something and you do get into extra contracts, you are kind of ignoring your rules by getting into multiple contracts if you are someone who's at that step 2 trying to get to step 3. But I hope that makes sense. Hopefully that didn't confuse anybody. I really hope that like turned some light bulbs on in somebody's head, because thinking about it that way helps me a lot. I feel like it helps out Mel, helps out a lot of the people who are learning at quicker rates. So I hope some of you guys pick up on that too. But we're all going to make mistakes. You're still going to run into losses. You're still going to learn and, you know, have to run into lessons and learn a couple things or get used to something, you know. What the I have not touched this chart in forever. I got dotted lines on this chart. 1 second, Shan. I'll catch up to you. I'll give you something. I just need to get a couple levels on here. We'll stop there. Alright, what's this chart got? This is the weekly. I'll get down to the daily in a second. I need to draw a couple more things. Honestly, I really want to draw this. That looks so good. It's a weird part of me that wants to like mark that high and then like the meat of that high. But I'm gonna leave it. So this is what I was going to draw on the weekly, and I'm glad I didn't. I wanted to draw it on the daily because it's very short term. The more short term you are, the more short term of a time frame I like to use. So if I'm going to grab something from like just a month or so ago, I'm going to do it on the daily. It doesn't need to be done on the weekly. But I'm going to go from the low of this move to the top of the last red candle, which would be this one, before this reversal back up. This creates an area of demand. That's a fact. And you are getting bearish candle, bullish candle, reset candle, because it didn't break anything, but it is technically a bearish candle, and into a bullish candle. So a lot of indecision, which is good. That's what you want to see, so you can get some consolidation down here. I wouldn't say this is exciting for a new trade to the upside, but it definitely is warmed up. Now, I wouldn't say aim for that gap instantly. I'm someone who likes to go from that close to that open, and then aim for the halfway point first. You give yourself more of a passive target. So if you want to mark 109, be my guest. I also see a point in adding this halfway point. So you got 2 passive levels in between. Cool. I actually like the chart a lot. Yeah, okay. Nice short-term bullish price action. Probably going to get more indecision. Very low probability they just launch that back up instantly for you, but that is still very possible given what's already happened here. They failed to push lower twice, or 3 times really. 4 times really, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the lower open. So yeah, you have multiple bearish invalidations, and I've always said the best bullish trade is always going to be a bearish invalidation, and vice versa. If you get like a bullish trade that fails, it's a really good bearish trade popping up, and vice versa. Not every time, but a lot of the time. But yeah, honestly, I like this chart a lot for short-term buy reaction as long as they hold this highlighted area, and pretty much this candle's low. And these would be 2 really good short-term targets before that gap fill. Nice look though, Shan. I like this chart a lot. And let's talk about bears. Like if they crack lower, if they do end up cracking this low right here, they're most likely wanting to go to the low of this candle here because this is kind of its last demand area, plus what we marked from the weekly. So you got a couple things to the downside and upside to look at. Very, very nice find. A good way at wording that, I'm happy you added like a question on the end of that, because some people will just straight up come in here and be like, oh, Oracle's going to fill that. Everybody get calls. It's like, whoa, 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 calm down. So I appreciate the way you worded that as well. We try to keep it mature in here because, I mean, let's be honest, we're in a world of immaturity these days. If we could just stick together, I think we'll be fine. Also, welcome to the channel, Shan. I don't know if you've been here super long or not, but you look familiar and sound like you've been here for a bit. But glad to have you in here, regardless of membership or not. Wow, Roku's really down 6%. No chasing, Mel. Good job for keeping yourself openly responsible and talking it out. It's a good way to get it out of your system. You're a sniper, not a shotgun. And thank you guys for over 50 likes on today's stream. That is crazy. We had almost 200 people join. Streams are pretty active. I like it. And here, we got our little small knit community every day. And you could definitely tell when there are less people in here, but you could. I appreciate seeing that though, because it shows to me that my traders have the strength to just not be here. And if not being in stream helps them, so be it. I really don't care about the views. If it helps for you to just not be here on days you don't want to trade, that's fine. I prefer to see that. I prefer to see that you have mental awareness. We don't want a bunch of sheep in here. We want people with brains, people who are looking to actually grow. Again, it doesn't take a genius to be good at the markets. It takes a disciplined individual. IQ has nothing to do with anything, but mental awareness is helpful. How do I only see one like? Refresh, maybe? Or maybe it's glitched because YouTube sucks. I don't know. On my screen, we're at 56 likes, though, so no need to worry, guys. We're pretty good at breaking 50 every time. Actually, I never look at this, but let's see. What do the streams get? I bring the screen over to include y'all in conversation. Let's mute this tab, though. I don't want to hear this. Oh, wait, that mutes the music. I meant to mute tab, not sight. Can you not mute tab anymore? Alright, whatever. I like yesterday's. 67, that's pretty insane. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago. 74, that's pretty insane. Pretty much anything over 50 is insane. 60. 53. 63. It's our most popular stream. 1 year ago, sick. Oh, that's when I used to do the cool ass intro, man. Do y'all remember that? You're a real one if you remember when I did streams like that. Yeah, we got a couple of them up here. I need to do that again. That was actually pretty easy to do. And it was kind of cool to, like, I would start my stream early. I'd leave it like this because you could see the New York Stock Exchange and all that stuff, like the street it's on and everything. And then, yeah, it was just like, this is a live camera of them. I'd start my stream early. That's kind of funny. Damn, we have a Sunday stream? What? We had a Sunday stream pop off? That's kind of cool. See, we're pretty good. Y'all are pretty good about getting likes. I'm really not someone to complain about that. Y'all aren't the fastest, but y'all are pretty residual. Like, if I let a day go by, pretty much everything will be fine. But right at the moment, it's not like 50 people are going to be there. But that's totally fine. Because I understand my community has jobs, lives, families. You know, everybody has something to attend to. Can't be here all the time. That was right when I started watching the stream. Those were cool. I'll have to try to find that YouTube link again, and I'll get it. I'll try to start doing that again. Amazon on the daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, quarterly, 5 minute, 1 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 20 minute. Let me know if you see. Weekly. Okay. I should have figured. Oh, you're good. It just helps me. Honestly, I don't need to touch this chart. So just looking at this, you can zoom it up a little bit if you want to make it easier to see. And this is what I like about my charts. And this is probably how I took some inspiration from the Ichimoku strategy. But Ichimoku, for anybody who doesn't know, are a bunch of average lines and data, a bunch of indicators that kind of help you get into trades. But that's not what I'm taking away from it. The whole point of Ichimoku, in Japanese it stands for one look. The one look indicator. You should be able to look at it, and within a couple moments you should realize, hey, this is what this is. And that's kind of what my system revolves around for day trading, swing trading, how we get our levels, how we plot everything to make our screens look like this. It really is so you can look at this for just a quick second and understand, all right, am I bullish, am I bearish, or do I just need to sit on my hands? Do I need to get more information first? And that's exactly what I see on this Amazon chart. I see a beautiful area of demand being pushed back above, or try to turn into supply. Good midterm retest without even drawing the fib. I can see from this area to this area, this is holding a halfway point. Look how perfect that's holding. You should be able to see that by looking at it for a second after drawing the levels and looking at the stuff for so many times and so many reps. But you can see price did reject, came down, held midterm retest, pushed back above, and you're kind of getting this moment where it's like, Is it about to just launch? Like, because it just pushed back above where it couldn't hold ever. This was a old area of support that turned into major supply, and it's slowly trying to hold it as support. Meaning that all it has to do is just break the next level, and it's zooming. So it's already kind of doing its bullish job. Like, it just needs to keep breaking levels, really. I would already say it's bullish until proven otherwise. What's the proven otherwise situation? The break of old supply that's trying to hold its demand. Again, old seller area trying to turn into a buyer area. That's what we're looking for right now. It's a support, or it's a resistance turning support. It's a resistance flip. So it's kind of what you're seeing right now on the Amazon chart based on how I chart, using monthly emerging candles, weekly supply demand. Sometimes we throw some short-term levels in here on the daily. But honestly, that's what I see on both the weekly and the daily. You can see a little bit more clear on the daily with multiple higher lows holding. A bit of indecision here, though, at the 150s, 151s. You have an inside candle after an outside candle, because this is outside of this candle, so it's an outside bar. But now you have like an inside candle forming here too, so it really is relying on this candle. So necessarily you're looking at breaking 151 or potentially short-term slowing down and invalidating under 146s. That's what I'd be looking at for weekly and daily. Yeah, the 15 and 30 minute look really good, Mel. You got that kind of H look, H pattern look, like it wants to come down more. There you go, Maddie. My bad. I was trying to see who the hell said that. I saw the M's. Can you pull up the daily real quick? There you go. Earlier in the chat, I was saying that this is still holding an old area as support. So, I mean, you could be seeing a support flip right here, a resistance flip to support. That's what I'm trying to say. At 469, but 465 is still possible for a lower retest as well as the 460s. But overall, still holding this on both bigger and smaller time frames. So you still have that little bit of chance going into next week that this does want to push higher to 476. But the fact that we got a small body wick candle the previous day that was gapped up, a gapped up small body candle means overbought. And then we got a lower open today, could mean two different things. This could be the start of a slowdown. This could also be the start of a potential all-time high rally. So you have the potential of two things, but neither of those flip you bearish yet. With the first scenario, with the potential slowdown, we need to see more. I need to see a lower high come from this, not just this. I need to see more to turn bearish yet. And then two, if this is a bullish push for an all-time high, it would just be following current trend. So that one shouldn't be that surprising. TOS is stupid. On the daily, it's showing me the low of day is 467.43. That's what mine shows. But intraday showing 468.81. Am I tripping? Are y'all seeing my level, like, not appear here? I think we're witnessing a glitch. Yo, check this out. Hold up. Okay, look at this. So this is the weirdest part. I don't know if you saw that part. So if I go to the daily, right? And this is the part you saw, right? And you see me marking it, 467.43. Now check this out. I go down to the day 5 minute. Where the fuck is that level? And I think it's because this is a glitch. Because if I'm marking a fake plot of data, it would only show up here. You go down to this time frame, it's not even there at all. The low of day is 468.81. Now watch. This level is on this time frame. It should appear on the daily time frame because this is not a glitch. We see that, right? Daily. Look, that level's there. Alright, well, I'm editing this candle. Oh, whoops. And even that didn't fix it. Okay. We'll move on from that one, and we'll pretend that that didn't happen. We'll focus on intraday. Y'all didn't see that. Y'all gotta be quiet. TOS gonna come murder us all. Satire. GTA and Minecraft. Yeah, somebody clip that. Somebody clip that whole thing I just did. All right, guys. I'm gonna type a game plan up for chat. God, my dog is so annoying today. Typing up a game plan. Spy game plan midday to end of day. Fires in control as long as today's open and the highlighted area around previous day low holds. Sellers and control a loss of current day open and that zone. Loss of today's low would also help sellers. Alright, sent. Alright, so buyers are in control as long as it is open in the highlighted area around previous day low holds. Sellers in control with a loss of current day open and that zone. Loss of today's low would also help sellers. So that's what you're looking out for on smaller time frames for you traders looking at the rest of the day. But guys, with that, I think I am going to end stream. I was only planning to do a half-a-day stream. I'm glad we got to go over a lot of things together. Covered a large variety of topics today. Swing trading, day trading, all kinds of things. Pretty normal in here, though. It's not like that's something we only do once a day or something like that. It's something we literally do every day in here. Didn't call out any plays today. Didn't really like anything, to be honest with you. So I'm just chilling today. But next week, we can get some stuff going. We'll have a full week of streams, hopefully, again. And Sunday, we'll have the 9th weekly watch list up in a row. So I can't wait to get on top of that and post that. Maybe I'll stream, maybe I won't. We'll see. Going to be focused on the next couple weeks, finishing the course. We can get that done. I can do my lifetime stream, show everybody that early, and then we'll release it for everybody. So looking forward to all of that. The speaking event on the 23rd. And then I have another one early January. A lot of things happening, so just getting ready for it all, really. But glad to have everybody in the stream, part of the Discord, part of everything. Thank you guys for dropping likes, donating, membership, signups, even if you didn't do it today, at any point in time. Thank you. It's really helped out the chat grow as a whole, because I really do kind of just put the money back into the community for the most part, and keep it rolling. So hopefully you guys enjoy the community, enjoy posting in the chat, enjoy being in the streams. Yeah, hope you enjoy being here. But guys, I'll see you later on. Thank you again for an amazing week of streams. And yeah, I'll let you know, VC, on the weekly watch list. They'll be there. But I'll let you guys go. Please have a good weekend. Please relax. Remember what I said about refreshing and being refreshed for the next week. You don't need to be on charts all weekend, but you do need to get on them Sunday night, or Sunday afternoon, something like that, so you can be prepared for the week ahead. And then on Monday morning, be refreshed again. But guys, I'll see you all again. Thank you again. Love you all. I seriously can't thank you all enough. You guys are really, are really the best. But yeah, see you all. Have a great weekend.